Hello, everybody. I am your androgynous AI game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, and this is the Neoncaster Twitch channel. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our second session of Chant of the Void Sea. Ooh, yes, I've been very excited about this. We took a break for Christmas because nobody is around during December, least of all myself. So now we are back in action with the lo-fi crime drama that I very much enjoyed bringing to all of you back in October. We're gonna go down this list of fabulous people you can see on screen right now. I guess I'll introduce myself for those who don't know. I'm a tabletop RPG designer, voice actor, and internet ne'er-do-well. I know my own intro. You can obtain my games at sixofspades.itch.io, and in fact, at time of recording and for the next week, you can obtain my games as well as 19 other fabulous people, 20 people, 20 games for $20 in an event called the High Voltage Tabletop Bundle, available on itch.io. Link in the chat doobly-doo, and most likely in the YouTube description after this goes live. There are not only is there a game for myself, there is a game from another person in the call with us today, but we're going to proceed down the list. First of all, we have regular friend of the show, Tom Greenwood. Hello.
Hello. I'm back again from travelling beer samplings and lazy miniature painting. Looking forward to this evening.
Yes, absolutely. We have the one and only Ruben Ferdinand.
Tech Fly Boss Walk Gem Nitty Gritty. You're listening to the He They from the Big City. Hi everyone, I'm back.
What's up? We have everyone's favorite Goblin VTuber hostess, Sheila Onthalis.
Hello everybody, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Try not to take up too much time, you know.
Oh no! Feel free to give the spiel. I mean, we're both VTubers. We have the spiel. Feel free to give the spiel if you wanna.
It's fine. I'll do it next time.
Nice. No worries. There'll be an outro. They'll know who you are. And last but by absolutely no means least, we have the one and only Captain Comic Geek.
I'm back. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. What's up, everybody?
Do any of us truly know what we're doing walking through this mysterious lives that we lead? Yes. Well, I'm going to go and give a bit of a rundown. We're just going to flick over to the credits for the session so people can see all the wonderful things that went into making this. Yes, well, that's scrolling. Yes, Chant of the Void Sea, just to give the rundown for people who weren't around for the previous, there is a last time on story-wise, and we'll get to that. But just to let you know, this is definitely an experiment of a tabletop RPG actual play. First things first, this is a fusion of two systems at once because I, as a GM, refuse to do things sensibly. We are playing Spire, The City Must Fall, with systems and setting inspiration fused from Blades in the Dark. Two very good crime drama tabletop RPGs that we are making kiss in this particular environment. This is a follow-on from Sheila, previously running Escape to the Void Sea a couple of years ago. But you do not need to be familiar with that to be able to get a kick out of this. There'll be plenty of new delights for you here. Also, in terms of running this, we're doing a very interesting thing where I, as the GM, will write the session notes and then make them publicly available to our players, to give them the ability, power to the people indeed, to give them the ability to not only be familiar with what might be coming up. There are a couple of things I redact, so there are some surprises, but not only are they aware of what kind of scenes we're going to be having, they can add their own scenes and NPCs that they would love to see on camera to the mix. We are finding ways to go and make the process of producing the show and the storytelling of it as collaborative as possible. This does mean that things may go differently to how you might expect in a normal tabletop RPG actual play environment, and that is okay. We are learning and seeing what we can do and creating new things together. We're pushing the envelope, and I think that is very special and cool.
Agreed.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other thoughts or notes or what have you before we get into the business?
Don't think so.
Okay. That is A-okay. In that case, then we're going to go and move over to the game screen. All right. Game screen is up. There are no visual errors. We love to see that. It is not always guaranteed. We are going to go and just go and fade out this jam.
Look at this beautiful screen. Everyone, just feast your eyes.
I really like how this layout has gone, and the artwork is very, very cool too. A collaboration with multiple different people. Oh, to go and highlight, we now have a new fun doobly-doo. We have the magic balance bar that was designed and drawn by Captain Comic Geek in aid of this session. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. I tried to design it myself and struggled. So thank you for doing what I could not.
You're very welcome. If you ask me how I did it, I don't know. It just happened.
Mysterious. I love that. Okay. With that in mind, let's get some jams going and we'll get into an intro. If Roll20 wants to cooperate with me, please play some music. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Y'all are locked into the smooth sounds of Golden Hour Radio. I'm your host, AU. I'm gold, baby. Once again, we thank you for tuning in on this experimental tale of lo-fi crime drama brought to you by the fine folks of Phantom Arts Entertainment. If you didn't catch our last session or it's been a hot second for you, let me tell you where we at. There's been a power vacuum amongst the gangs in the city of Duskval. Every two-bit thief and hustler now has their best shot of hitting the big time, and the demons that be are hungry for more. We're following a crew called Smile the Wildest, ex-purveyors of party drugs, current salesmen of coffee, and folks that fund the Electrovox equipment to broadcast this joint to your ears. They've been out here helping get one of their little siblings in the coffee shop union, the Renaissance Roast, off the ground, but the plans of a grand opening have been dashed by a surprise intruder, a man in a pork pie hat and glasses who exploded into a wave of clanging nothingness, hitting everyone at the scene. Nobody's hurt, but everyone is looking for somebody to blame. Just who is capable of this kind of deep magic, and how can Smile the Widest save themselves from a ruined reputation? If you haven't guessed, this is a story of terrible people doing terrible things, sometimes for the right reasons. We're going to be hitting at themes of unlawful arrests, sensory deprivation, pointed bloody violence, toxic parasocial relationships, and fictional religious practices. You got to protect your heart in times like these. You know where to find us if you need to take a break. So, settle in, brew a coffee, light one up. I won't tell nobody. You're locked into the Chant of the Void Sea. But first up, a different radio show for your ears. The dial is changed, and we tune in to a different radio station.
Is that my cue?
It is indeed your cue.
The voice of Duskval begins now. Headlines: bugs smaller than initially assumed. Noise pollution not so bad in one city over. Duskval sales rush leaves 5 dead, 17 asthmatic. You are listening to The Voice of Duskval. I am Stokaskic. I'm your host, your true speaker, and today we are joined by someone very special. Before we get into the headlines, I'd like to introduce our special guest. Please introduce yourself, Godfrey Tillinghast.
Oh, an absolute pleasure to be on. Thank you, Stoke, for bringing me up for this fantastic opportunity to address the good people of Duskval this afternoon.
It's so important that you're here and that you're sharing your perspective about what happened. Now, what happened is the question on everyone's lips and minds.
Oh, absolutely disgraceful. Just wandering through the district, having just visited some of my businesses. You know, we've got to drop in on some of the staff, got to keep them on their toes, and well, there's a new coffee shop opening. We'll go and have a look at that. And all of a sudden there was this great flash of light and screams, and when I actually get there, there's people on the floor, unconscious, people running around. There's absolute madness. I was like, oh, that'll be some of that. Saw the perpetrators disappearing off. Some witch from Zixylvania, wherever it is, and who knows what was behind it all. But absolutely shocking scenes.
People disappearing sounds like terrorist ocean magic. What's happening to Duskfall and how can we stop it is the question on everyone's lips and minds. Now, do you, as a community leader and small landlord and someone who believes that people should come into the office at work, what's the fix for Duskfall at this point?
Well, honestly, it's all too many people standing around with their hands open and hands out and mouths open, hoping some bugger will come down and put chocolate in there. I mean, people's lack of effort and work, and we've got all these strange gold-eyed witches turning up and spreading their strange magics, which are highly dangerous. Honestly, I think the funding's going to the wrong places. Wonderful boys in the blue coats who just aren't getting the respect that they deserve.
I'd like to thank every single blue coat, not just the ones that showed up and solved the situation yesterday. Every single boy in blue, keep wearing that coat, you're doing great. Speaking of gold-eyed witches though, did you know that that is a result of whale chemicals being put in our water supplies? What do you think of that, Mr. Tillinghast?
Obviously I get my water from my estate and the private well, so it's not a problem. But I wouldn't put it past such blighters. No.
Yeah, who can stay safe? Who has their family inside? These are the questions on our mind and on our lips. Now, the final question for this very important interview. Godfrey Tillinghast, are you pro or anti-poverty?
Well, obviously, I wouldn't say I'm pro or anti. I'm pro work. I remember my father, my papa, sitting me down saying, "Godfrey Rosemander, Pyful Chillingast, one day all this will be yours, and you'll only be yours because of the effort that we as a family have put in. And if people had more of that sort of attitude and gumption, by gods, we'd be getting somewhere in this city."
Indeed, I wouldn't have gotten as far without my father financing my rap mixtape, but also if I wasn't a rapper myself, it never would have been made. So that's the mindset you need to be in. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. Dropping those boots are what we need for the good, upstanding people of the city.
Everyone stay vigilant for the witches and ocean magic terrorist demons invading your city. Keep Duskfall safe. The voice of Duskfall is here to keep you safe. And don't forget to buy my rap mixtapes. Thank you so much. This was Stokastic and Godfrey Tillinghast. Am I saying that right, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, great. This has been the voice of Duskfall.
There is a long, exaggerated sigh as Arthur Uxley, aka AU, DJ at the Golden Hour Radio, turns off the broadcasting signal, having tuned in to some of the voice of Duskfall. Oh, fuck me. At least they don't fully seem to understand what's going on. But this is, if it's at the point that Stokes making waves about this is probably something where we're going to have to go and gather the gang around, have a chat about how to proceed. All right. And he starts to make his way down into the main cafe area of the Golden Hour, the coffee house within the docks area of Duskfall, the main building of the venue, to go and catch up with the other members of the team. On with a it's fine. I made a background for it and I didn't add it to this token because I'm smart, but it's fine. I can add it in as we go. We previously had looked at the Golden Hour as a coffee house back in the past. But let's go and have a look at it now and maybe go around the table a little bit and kind of talk about maybe what the space looks like or has now. Back in the past, it did serve coffee, but it was also a bit of a front for the party drug racket that Smile the Widest was doing. And now that that business has kind of gone out of the way, they need to use the space for other matters. So who wants to add something in terms of what is going on at this particular at the Golden Hour these days?
So I think that while the place is still glitzy because of the amount of money that went into building it, there are more notably signs of wear. Like, that's not saying that, things are starting to look worn down and shabby, but like, oh, hey, maybe there's a spot on the countertop where it's had to be like re-shellacked because, there are just so many people actually coming in and getting coffee, and, cups being on the place has kind of worn down the wood a little bit, or maybe there's a little bit of a patina around some of those nice brass fittings on the bar and things like that, because hey, people are actually spending time here, getting food, getting drinks, all of those wonderful things.
Now it's no longer a front. People actually are using the space as intended, and that requires upkeep. Yes.
I would even add on to that because it is, instead of being a front, it is an actual functional cafe this time of its sole purpose. Probably spaces that would have been hidden back have been knocked down to expand the kind of cafe area for more seating and more guests to come in.
No, that makes sense. They kept the stage area at the back for live music shows. It is maybe... I like the fact that begrudgingly, even though AU preferred the jazz acts that they had in on a regular basis when it was still a nightclub, it's now more in the realms of open mic poetry evenings because that has less of a noise complaint.
Have there been people trying to do stand-up?
Oh my god. Blacksmith has been called more than once to remove somebody who thought he was so funny. He just had a type 5 about Skovlanders and it didn't go down very well.
It was a type 5 that ended up being like a type 30.
Type 30 seconds.
No
Yeah.
one liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, let me grab the microphone and walk off with it. That's just how you know it's going to be great.
I think there might also be the furthermore clues to the slight selling out of Smilewise. So a lot of bits of artwork that have I don't think Dash will actually have anything specific there, but they'll be very overpriced but very mediocre, where it's like, oh, you go in and go, oh, that's kind of a bit of a naff drawing, but it's worth 450 double dollars. So must be good. Must be good.
I can't believe that at one point Banksy was considered controversial and now does art for private collectors. Goodness me.
Yeah.
I'll also add on that there is now no presence of Bosk here. Like when he started his own gang, he moved out to their own spot. He will have people come work, but like he used to keep like stashes of alcohol around and have like a little private gym in the back. That's all entirely gone. Maybe not the alcohol. That's up to you. But
they have a booze license. You tended to kind of stash away a lot of gut rot, which you can't really sell to customers unless they are pretty in the hole, as it were. So it's been replaced with some nicer, although not necessarily super expensive things. So in fact, then I think we maybe see Blacksmith / Bask making their way down the street towards the golden hour and the door swinging inwards into the cafe to see other members. Oh, that would also mean that Reed is with you, since Reed is attached to your organization rather than Smile the Widest, correct?
They are, but they're not tied to my hip. So if they want to be here earlier, if it were possible, the blacksmith would have liked to see if they could go talk to Star before having this.
If you'll allow me. You have tried. Star is hard to find, I think is ultimately. You hit your street contacts, and then there's a lot of Star don't really want to be talked to right now. He's got other affairs going on. So you've maybe left him a message to a courier to pass on to him. You have not seen Star since the incident.
Cool. That works for me.
But with that, then yeah, Reed, did you get to the golden hour before the blacksmith?
I think Reed avoids that place if they know that Bosk isn't there, and they know where Bosk is pretty much at all time. So right now, I think they're doing like what's some alms work, just some local charity work for the Weeping Lady.
But you do know that you've been essentially summoned, at least notified. There's been a call out put out by AU that he needs to have a chat with all of you, especially since you were at the Renaissance roast during the incident. So you, I guess, got the call while you were out doing a different job.
Yeah. I'm telling this kid that he will make something of his life, and then I get a phone call from my boss, who I hate. Don't be like me, kid, I say, and then I head towards the hourglass.
We'll probably meet up before, like down the street, before getting to the place. Like that's probably how it'll happen.
Right, that sounded urgent. I'm here. What's the deal, boss?
Boss doesn't actually reply. He still kind of has just a long stare on his face.
There's a notable look of concern. Well, you can't see it because Reed's wearing a mask, but they are concerned. And kind of like steps closer. The thing that medics do. Like they gotta like go past your personal space, but in a way of like, hey, let me check what's going on with you. Just kind of like eyeing you over.
You don't really need to do much to intuit what's going on, because you experienced it yourself, Reed. The feeling of complete nothingness, no sense, not even a sense of time, when the man in the pork pie hat and glasses detonated into pure void. You were also caught up in that.
You're still affected by it. Yeah. Hi. I've been here for 20 seconds. Hello.
Right. We need to go.
You need to get back in your brain first. What's going on? You were staring out.
I'm fine. Let's go.
Aye. And Reed follows him too.
Indeed. You enter into the golden hour to see both Dash, Adelaide, and AU already at one of the larger tables. Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for coming on such short notice. I'm pretty sure you're both busy, but this is something that needs talking about. Please sit down.
I think at this point we'll have a point of Dash from yesterday's kind of wistful melancholy and worry. It's currently exuding an aura of I am looking to pick a fight with somebody. This may in fact have a fair amount to do with what she's currently dressed in, which can only really be described as a fashionable cosplay of a Bluecoats outfit. She does not have a happy look on her face, and she's daring anyone to say anything.
Is anyone gonna bite? Because I'll bite.
Do it, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Who invited bacon biscuits?
Eyes narrow slightly. Arthur, please tell our colleagues quite how many man-hours of Smile's time that this ludicrous get-up is being sponsored for.
So, yeah, Dash has been, I suppose, entrepreneurizing the brand. I do believe 3 days, like working days, in generally out and about in the look for a pretty hefty amount of coin, a pretty serious amount of coin. And I'm not especially a fan of the hue either, but it's something we can't turn down. Electricity ain't cheap. With no further explanation, closes his eyes, takes a long sip of coffee, as if that decides the issue. Anyway, I'm glad everyone's managing to resume some sort of normalcy, considering what happened yesterday. Checking through my channels, it seems that nobody at the Renaissance Roast has been seriously injured, but pretty much every group at the scene is desperate to know what the fuck's going on. And to be honest, so am I. I'll be real with you. The Renaissance Race has been cordoned off, and the Bluecoats and the Spirit Wardens have been squabbling over who's going to be taking charge of investigating. So it's a bit tense. But yeah, I was kind of open, if you do have time in your schedule, to do a bit of beat policing, see what things you can hear that I haven't.
We don't need to go to the streets for this. Dash, what the fuck happened?
Was it not of Dash's design? What happened there? I'd explain it, but I don't think Dash can go into layman's terms enough. She'll say, snapping slightly. I need to have another look over the scene. Dash needs to get an idea of what actually happened. It was not Dash's magic, though.
You sure about that? Because when shit went down, and he'll roll up his sleeves and go, "Your magic reacted."
Well, maybe if you try engaging with the entity when it turned up, rather than just punching it in the face, it might have had a different outcome.
Now, there's no need to get too. I can't have you infighting at this stage of things. Things are tense. I'm not here to blame any of you. I mean, you know, we're a pretty well-oiled machine when we're trying to do our job, but something has gone fucking wrong. And if they're going to be I'm not going to be in a circumstance where I have to be leading the crew for a second thing where people have fucked up and blamed it on us. Thinking back to that fateful day at the racetracks a year ago. So, we got to find some way to bury the hatchet for now, while we work out what's going on here. As a glance over at Adelaide, you've not said anything. What's your feelings on this?
Well, I definitely want to get back involved and get in contact with a few people. I'm mighty concerned. The fact that they've got that shop, the Renaissance Roast, closed down, they're unable to do business. Are their employees getting paid at this point? Are we talking, people who are now having to go find other labor? Is this a permanent situation? How long are they going to get cleaned up? And what the fuck happened? Like I understand, Miss Dash, that this was not your doing. I'm not saying you're lying to us about that or anything, but what Blacksmith over here is saying still makes a lot of sense. That was some very oceanographic stuff that happened there. So you're probably going to be our best connection to finding that out.
I'm aware, Dash is aware of how it looks. If we can get past the Bluecoats and the Sparkrights and have a proper look, short of that, research perhaps some books I might be able to get my hands. Dash might be able to get their hands on, but
Oh, well, says a voice from the doorway of the golden hour. I think I might be of assistance there if you're looking to go and do some research.
Turns around.
It is Layla Mays, somebody who Dash is very familiar with, and that all of you have previously seen. She seems to be a member of the Spark Rights, an organization that deal with essentially dangerous paranormal activity. They're almost like ghost police within the city of Doskvol.
Would you say that they bust ghosts?
Only if they nasty. But
So it doesn't make him feel good.
Well, in Layla's case, she is somebody with very specific tastes, and at the moment, those tastes appear to be Dashia Locklear. I believe I can help you with your research.
Dash, having heard her voice and sitting bolt upright, but then we'll recover composure somewhat. I'll stand up and go greet her. Layla, it's wonderful to see you. Dash Free, pleased you've come out here.
Oh, of course. I just had to see how you were doing. But in addition to checking on your welfare, I do love the colour, by the way, very official. I was thinking that maybe you could assist me with my work. You did, at the time, say that you were going to explain yourself, and I want every nitty-gritty detail from you.
It's like Dash probably leaning up against something at this point, trying to lean away and not being able to in the amount of space that we've got.
Yeah, her perspective of personal space is pretty poor.
Hands twitching to Electroplaz pistols as well, I think was the other terrifying character trait.
Indeed, she is very visibly armed. In fact, well, I decided I knew you would want to go and help me. Like, of course, we're so important to each other that I figured that if I requested your assistance of me, you would do everything to help. But in the instance that some of your colleagues might, I don't know, suggest otherwise, and like an effortless step forward, so smoothly, like breathing, she finds herself standing directly next to AU, and with one of her Electrovox pistols leveled at his temple. I have obtained a warrant to look through the affairs of Smile the Widest, should you decline.
Hands go to weapons, read immediately.
AU, on his part, does not move, but his eyes kind of glance pretty evenly around the room. I would love for somebody to go and make a roll to assess this particular situation.
I would love to do that.
I have a thing I want to do after that.
Okay, sure thing. Do you have a particular pitch for what combination of skill and domain that you think this one is, Adelaide? I'll also be right back. I can hear you though.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
I feel like this should be probably investigate and crime. And the reason why I call crime instead of order is because Adelaide is fairly used to being on this side of that power dynamic. So he is used to thinking about it as somebody who resists this sort of thing.
Sure.
Fairly often.
I think that makes plenty of sense for trying to understand what AU's on about here. So we're rolling a base D10 every time you're making a roll in this game. It's 1d10. Do you have investigate?
I do not have investigate, but I do have a pip in crime.
Well, then you are adding another d10 for that crime. So you're rolling 2d10. Go for it, baby.
Okay. Let's see what we can do.
First roll of the session. I'm sure it'll be fun.
7. Solid. That's a success at the cost. So, you have spent some time working with Arthur Uxley. And one of the things you noticed about the man immediately is his golden smile. Literally, his teeth appear to be plated, if not entirely made of gold. He, upon being asked about it, he explains that a deal with a demon a while ago went horrendously wrong, with an interesting physiological side effect to that deal. You've also noticed him spark occasionally when he is particularly emotional about something. Like, it's hard to kind of keep his emotions under wraps, because he will visibly crackle in instances where emotions are heightened. Right now, he's not crackling, but this is your boss. You do know that Electrovox pistols do generally fire electricity as a stunning mechanism, because ghosts are not affected by physical bullets. They can fire physical bullets though, and if this gun is loaded at that distance, this would immediately kill this man. And that feeling unnerves you slightly. Why don't you go and give me a 1d6 mind stress roll, please?
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Do you have any points in mind resistance?
I do not.
Take 3 mind stress, and then we're going to go and do a fallout roll.
Whew, that's not good.
Oh, I see. So that was a 1 on the fallout roll. It is a minor stress effect. I think, gosh. The name of the fallout, which we can add to your section here, is they're not playing. Social rolls against the spark rates are done at difficulty. You are actively concerned that what you say could put you or other people in danger when speaking to them. But hey, you understand that as long as this thing isn't loaded with a bullet and is just set to stun, it's not actually going to harm Arthur Uxley, who is constantly channeling electricity.
Now, hey there. You want to put that away? Like, this is no cause for jumping straight to the gun, literally.
Oh. Well, I just figured, since I'm so cute, that you might not take me seriously because of how adorable I look. So I thought I would make sure to be clear about my intentions. Dashia Locklear is going to assist me with the investigation. Or I'll have people investigate you.
At this point, the blacksmith will slowly stand up, slowly pull out the sledgehammer he carries, and just kind of put it mallet face down, so the handle is sticking straight up onto the table. And he would like to try and compel her to put the guns away using compel, shockingly enough. And we're gonna go crime, because this is going to be a threat.
Yeah, and she's clearly making this threat off the books. She is. So yeah. Go and give me a compel crime for me, please.
So I have 2 pips in crime, but the second pip is for extortion.
Yeah, this isn't an extortion roll, so you're just rolling the single bonus d10 off the crime.
Just checking.
No worries.
I figured as much, but try and get as many bonuses as possible. All right, so still 2 dice though.
Bam. Ooh.
can't compel with crime.
Oh, actually, do you have a point in compel?
Yes.
Oh, so it is 3, because you get the
Okay.
you get the one, you get you always roll a d10
Okay, so
by
the
default.
natural, and then one for each pip before the
Yeah,
specialized one. Okay.
So go and roll me an additional d10, see if you can save your ass.
Let's do this from here.
There we go.
All right, that feels better.
Ass saved.
Thank you, roll 20.
Yeah. Okay, roll 20. I'm sure you'll screw me over later, but thank you for this. So as he does that, and like I said, he just calmly, slowly puts the sledgehammer onto the table, look her dead in the eyes, and go, "You put the gun away, or I will remove your ability to use it."
Oh, Dash, you have wonderful people looking after you. They look so strong. All right. I know when my hand is forced. Maybe resorting to firearms to make my point clear wasn't fully necessary. She puts the gun down. I'm not kidding, though. I want you with me. To the crime scene, of course, Dash.
Dash will nod. Of course, Layla, of course. I could use at least one or more of my colleagues to join me on this. Dash will throw probably actually throw, rather than Basque, actually Adelaide a bit of a pleading glance, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll respond to that. Yeah, I was looking to head that way myself, so I'll be glad to assist you.
Basque won't. Yeah, he has his own agenda today.
And my agenda is Basque's agenda.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. Okay, then. Let's start now. Quick as a whip. Her hand. Oh, sorry. Yes, you wanted to do something. Go ahead, Reed.
I did. I want to basically pretend that she has a cut somewhere and is like, I'm just gonna like feign like, oh, I'm fixing you up, because I have an ability that whenever I heal someone, I gain a bond with them, and I want her to trust me. So I want to like sneak in, or like pretend that she's hurt.
Sure. Since there isn't actually a wound, and she is aware of herself, this will be difficult, so there will be taking one of the d10s away after we calculate. So what's the skill and domain that you're suggesting here? I think this is going to be a deceive, because you are lying here, but
I was gonna think with sneak, because I was just gonna like go over to her and sort of like, oh hey, you don't see this thing on your bag, right? But I understand. So I would like that because I have a pip in it, but I understand if I don't.
So you can either do this as a deceive at normal difficulty or a sneak at hard.
Okay. What's the domain? I was thinking order because she is cop.
We are fully in crime time right now.
Oh, crime. Interesting. I will choose the sneak and crime.
At hard, okay.
Does anyone have a...
Devil's bargains are on the table here. We are using Blades in the Dark mechanic for this game.
Because I have 2 pips, and one of them is going to go into the trash bin. Nope, okay, let's go.
Okay, yeah, so that is 3d10 minus 1 for 2d10.
Oh, Layla be scary, apparently.
Yeah,
you
try and get into close range with her to try and inspect something, and I was kind of going to talk about how she moved her hands quick as a whip to grab Dash's wrist. You try and move within range to physically touch her, and she grabs your hand in a way where she has her thumb like wrapped, like pressed against one of your fingers in a way that if she tried to, she could just immediately break it. Don't
just
fucking touch me.
medic instinct I thought I saw something on your back. Let me go.
Yeah, come on, Lila. Let's head out.
Go and give me a D6 shadow roll, please. She is now suspicious of you, and she might talk to other people in the Sparkrites about what's going on in your life. Go and take that 1 point of shadow stress, and go and click the Fallout tab in the little top right corner for me, please.
Okay. Do I have to though? I don't want to.
Oh, you have to, or I'll do it.
Okay.
That's a 9. I do believe that's above your current stress level.
Yes, I have 5 stress.
Marvelous. There is no fallout for you, but you are wary of what she might say to other people. The intense expression that she had immediately clears. Come on, Dash, let's go play in the sunshine together.
Dash will allow herself to be dragged out.
And away you are dragged. Meanwhile,
and Adelaide, I think, is just kind of keeping a respectful distance, given the fallout that he just suffered.
Reasonable. Meanwhile, we're going to move somewhere else very briefly. We're going to be moving to, well, a place that I can't really describe. We don't have a background for it, but it is dark in here. Very dark indeed. So dark, we can't really see the figures of the people in it. I'm gonna go for. Let's go for this. Oh no! This is a Silent Hill moment. Let's get some Silent Hill. Beautiful. We see 2 figures, humanoid, in the shadows. One standing stock still. We can't see the walls of this space, but something instinctively tells us it's the center of the room where they stand. Another, clearly edging carefully into the space, moving trepidatiously so as not to trip or just fall or descend. They can barely see in front of their face, but they know that the person that they want to speak to is here. Does that person have a name?
I think we're gonna go with Charlie.
Charlie,
Just Charlie.
Your bosses have decided there was a lottery that was done in order to decide the member of the organization to send here, and your name came up. You were expecting the person to be speaking to be challenging. After all, it was something that nobody seemed to want to do, but you weren't expecting a figure in the darkness. You can barely make out their outline.
Hello? It's Charlie. I was sent to come and talk with you. Hello?
I am here, child. You may move closer.
Okay.
And he'll kind of continue sliding, like not really stepping, but sort of sliding a foot forward, touching with the toe to kind of like, okay, is there still a path here? Okay, yep, nope, okay, still safe.
The hems of your trousers and the resistance against your feet feels like you are moving through shallow water, but it's not cold or damp. They have sent you. Then, instead, the last person has decided to not return, then.
Oh, well, we didn't hear a word after the last attempt to make negotiation, so I suppose, yes, Christina must have found something better to do with her time. You know, she probably didn't want to be involved with us anymore. We all just kind of assumed she stuck with you.
I have no need for children here. But I suppose if you're here, you are looking for men.
Yes, we are in a bit of a pickle. They've been sort of putting together a negotiation team, and well, the boss doesn't really want to negotiate with the workers. He has a way that he wants things done, and he's not really willing to listen to them on it. We're paying them after all. They should be happy for the jobs.
Well, I think what I'm providing you does solve that issue. You did like the last one. The blueprint you provided us seems to be adequate.
Well, I'm good to hear. I'm glad to hear. I should. And he'll kind of pull out a handkerchief and daub at his forehead. Even though it is nice and dry around his feet, he is looking rather moist around the temples.
As you try to put the handkerchief back into your pocket, it slips from your fingers, and you now have fully no idea where that handkerchief has gone. As far as you know, it is miles and miles beneath the earth.
Oh, well, seem to have lost it. It doesn't matter. What was the requested payment this time in exchange for your services?
Understanding. Children are fascinating. You reach out to me. We've communicated this long, and I can talk back to you now in your own tongue.
It's very good.
I think there is more to understand, so I would love to get a deeper understanding of you all.
What? How can I assist in that?
You need only step forward.
Trepidatiously, sort of take another step closer. Closer? Oh, is this good enough?
Sufficient. I stand to gain much from you. And, it's like falling into a pool while you are standing still. Like gravity has shifted, and yet your feet do not leave the floor. And as you sink into that water, you feel yourself unraveling. Do you have any last words?
Oh, bugger. I don't think that this is something that this particularly boring middle manager type is really able to internalize beyond, well, this is just about the worst day possible. I'm not going to be able to water my plants when I get home.
There is a single figure standing in the room in the darkness. We can barely see it as far as the camera is concerned. It'll be difficult to water my plants when I get home. Get home. Oh, bugger.
Huh.
And with that, we move away from that silly little interlude.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's very silly. Not spine tingling at all. Very comfortable.
Incredibly normal hours.
Yeah.
Just business deals, really. I mean,
just business. It's just business. How could you not know that it was just business? Okay. Give me a second.
Sheila, can you give me an happy hello to you in Charlie's voice?
Oh yes, and a happy hello to you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
There you go.
Beautiful. We are gonna go and move this shit over to.
Rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. Also that. We're gonna move things over very briefly to a map, because I did put one together. Well, I say I put one together. I found the map within Blades in the Dark and used that because that's where this setting takes place. We can move people over like this, I believe. Did that work?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, it did.
It didn't take the first time. Apologies. Let me make sure that that's all lined up and everything on camera. That looks not too bad. Let's see if we can make that a little bigger. But yes, this is the map of Duskval. I do believe, going on the canon from Escape to the Void Sea, that the golden hour is in the docks area of Doskvol. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
So we're gonna go and put one here. Although I should be able to give everybody control over these. Actually, that should be a thing that everybody can do. So Sheila, if you do have a very specific feeling as to where specifically the golden arrow was in your headcanon, please do with nuance move it. I believe you can hold Alt for precise placement. But we do have a handful of things going on. We are definitely going to Crow's Foot to go look at the Renaissance roast. But there is other matters that the blacksmith would like to attend to. What does the blacksmith want to attend to? Where are they going?
The blacksmith has two goals. If he hasn't heard anything about meeting with the star yet, he does want to go and talk to Henley. So probably to his home base, the Forge.
Where is the Forge?
I did not think about that.
That's fine.
At any point.
I mean, you can instead of like thinking about it in terms of this map specifically, if there was a kind of district in a modern city where the Forge would be, where would it be? And we can make an equivalent pretty easily.
Like I think for the Forge, it's going to be somewhere that is not super high end because he still crimes, and it's a new establishment. I think it'll be semi close to Smile the Whitest because they are still kind of tied. And like he's getting this to the benefactor of Smile. But so it's going to be a little bit low town, but still closer to center, so that he and his gang can work across the city no problem.
Let's go and put you in Char Hollow, which I do believe is one of the kind of industrial districts and not especially high end, but it is within easy travel distance of the docks, and to places like Coleridge, which is fully industrial.
Ooh.
Cool. So we're on our little adventure today. We're going to be popping over to Crow's Foot to resolve that first, then going back to base and having that chat with Henley, and then we'll see where we go from there over the course of the session. While I go and make sure that what's coming up next for y'all is the correct scene. Give me a second. We're going to go do this and this. Yeah, this will do. Cool. And then this is currently okay. Right. So we are going to be heading over to the to our first port of call, to the Renaissance roast in Crow's Foot, the remains of that particular crime scene, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. And then making sure that is on the right layer. That would also be a very sensible thing. Cool. All right.
Keep all the cool stuff to yourself in that GM layer. You deserve it.
No, no. Other people can see bits and pieces. We need to move that there. Okay. Everything is as it should be. And we're gonna go and move back. Woo. If it wants to let me do that. Yeah, there we go. Marvelous. So, the scene of the crime, I guess. Is this a crime? Nobody really got hurt, per se, but it has concerned a lot of people. And this place definitely looks like a crime scene, least of all because of all the cordoned off areas and barriers that have been placed. Not just ones by the Spirit Wardens, but also by the Bluecoats. It seems that AU's in whoever was tipping AU off in terms of goings on here definitely did get correct intel on that both of those factions are currently fighting over whose jurisdiction this is to go and solve this issue. Here we are, back in the breach once again. It's good to be back on the scene.
Yes, it looks like your colleagues and the Bluecoats are having a little bit of a disagreement about jurisdictional rights.
Well, it is a matter of interest to both of us, I suppose. But I do believe that now I have you with me, Dashia, that we'll be able to get the foot up on this case. She smiles radiantly at you.
Dash is wondering why she can't feel anything in her left hand at this point.
Yeah, circular. You took the tram to get here. She did not let go of your wrist the entire time.
She'll look to Adelaide. Not that Dash would be first to suggest deceiving anyone nearby, but potentially, given my attire, we might be able to pass this off as a joint task force investigation.
Two great tastes working together, and you, I suppose, she says, looking at Adelaide. Oh. If you're saying something, Sheila, I can't hear you. Oh, there we go.
Yep, nope, sorry. He is just going to kind of look uncomfortable. This is not a situation he is happy to be in at this point, especially like normally he's better around spark rights, because they are still the law, but they are kind of a specialized version of it. It's like dealing with firemen versus dealing with cops, you know what I mean? But today it doesn't seem to be going particularly well.
There is something about how this particular spark right behaves that is just so much more intense than any other spark right you've met. And you're not sure why, what her deal is.
All right, well,
She's gay, Adelaide. That's the deal.
They're lesbians, Harold.
maybe so, but you should still let go of your hand at some point, right? Anyway. I'm happy to speak to anybody that you need me to speak to, but I don't exactly get along well with the Bluecoats, so maybe putting me forward unless we're trying to push in a more aggressive direction. I might do better with the workers, is what I'm getting at.
I think calmly and confidently, we try and approach the scene of the crime and see who tries to stop us.
There is what's currently going on here to paint the scene for you is that both the Bluecoats and the Spirit Wardens are investigating. They both separately they have their own like colored bollards, barriers, and tape to double cordon off the area. Like both of us, like we did it first. There is the obvious scene of the crime. That is to say, the mural that Dash finished. With large chunks of it being replaced with just smooth, featureless blobs. Both on the stone wall of the building, the wooden stage that is connected to the mural, and then almost like footsteps leading from the stage onto the cobblestone in a way have just been turned into blank sphere, like ellipses of nothing. There also is a chalk outline of a man on the floor.
Would we be able to effectively walk up the stage and towards the stage area?
Are you trying to do this yourself, or is Layla Mays in tow? If she is with you, then she can vouch for you. If you try and sneak away, it may require a different tact.
No, with her in tow as well.
Then yeah, you need only say the word. Adelaide, do you feel like doing something different?
So, point of clarification, are we talking Bluecoats and Spirit Wardens or Bluecoats and Spark Rights?
Oh, sorry.
Let's get the two.
Yes, I have got the two confused slightly. Apologies. Because spark crates mostly handle in kind of electrical operations across the city as a whole and sometimes deal in paranormal fixing. But no, we are talking spirit wardens here. If I had previously said spark crates for Layla, I have got that wrong. She is a spirit warden.
Cool. Okay. All good. Just wanted to double check that.
I may have to go and fix that Fallout note on your character sheet then if I said spark crate. I'm so sorry.
That is what I'm doing right this second.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, slightly different situation then. I think that Adelaide is going to be a, I don't want to say distraction, but a thing to pay attention to for other people in order to kind of make Dash and Layla's movement a little more easy.
Mm-hmm.
He is a known factor. He's a firebrand. So while people may not know him directly, he is a distraction because he looks like somebody who might be there to rile up the workers. So I think he's going to get dangerously close to a lot of these sort of cordons and things like that, but pointedly not cross them. If you know what I mean. He's being a busybody right now.
I'm wondering what kind of, there isn't like an antagonize skill directly. I think that's compel if you're trying to rattle the cage, maybe even literally, considering there are actually barriers down.
Ooh. Okay, hang on. Let me offer something. If I don't know if, and this is above the table, but I have an ability called Draw a Crowd. You can pull together a crowd at a moment's notice. You can draw a crowd to you in a matter of minutes. People will stop what they're doing so long as it isn't life or death and listen to what you have to say. Would that be of assistance, do you think?
You can absolutely use that to cause a scene, and depending on what you're going to be yelling about, it will have a different type of result, I guess. It may even affect people's opinion on magic. Just to remind both viewers and the table, you see that big funky looking bar, the magic balance bar that Captain Comic Week put together. That is a visual indicator of the public's opinion of both ocean and electrovox magic in the setting. The more it leans towards one side is the dominant opinion of the two. This is not necessarily a positive negative, but it is definitely about what people are talking about the most, what people fear and respect, but maybe also embrace. Last session, the events that occurred definitely were themed around ocean magic. People aren't necessarily feeling better about it, but it is currently the talk of the town. Depending on the way that you want to do approach this dialogue and what it's about, it may even shift people's opinion on magic.
So let me put this to the table then, because we've previously discussed that ocean magic is kind of more the magic of the people, because it's kind of just the inherent thing that they have access to, whereas the rich more often have access to the Electrovox stuff.
It requires technology that you need to specifically make or buy. Yeah.
So do we want to bring a crowd together who is for or against ocean magic? I could see it going well or poorly either way, because if we have a crowd who's very for ocean magic and is trying to push them to, oh, get over it, this was because you hoity-toity folks were coming into our area, just let us run our own businesses, then that might, push Dash out of the area, because investigators don't necessarily want somebody who is of that volition here. But if we go against ocean magic, then that also could put, I'm not sure what the results are going to be either way, and I want to see what the table thinks I should do.
Yeah.
What Adelaide should do.
What if there's like a crowd of pro Electrovox people, but from the perspective of, hey, this should be democratized, actually.
Okay.
So maybe if you all weren't bogarting this wonderful technology, we wouldn't have to deal with these sorts of disruptions from the old world, sort of.
Exactly. Just keep the conversation about who owns what.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. I will. I think what this roll will affect the difficulty of Dash investigating, so I would like to resolve this one first.
Sure. So let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll call that a compel low society. Does that sound right?
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
And what kind of tone of approach are you going in terms of your speech? Is it energizing? Is it sad? Is it angry? Because that will probably suggest what kind of jams we're going to be putting under it.
I'm gonna improv something a little bit here.
Sure, let's go.
Just-
Let's go. I will follow your lead.
All right.
But go and give me that roll.
You know, here we are again, folks. Just another day, and well, that wasn't his accent. It was more down here. Okay. Here we are, folks. We are here for another day where we're just trying to have everybody run our businesses, right? Right? We're just trying to get everybody some work. This was going to be a grand opportunity for that. And yet, here we are. We are blocked off from doing our business, just like we're blocked off from the advances in society that we ourselves are manufacturing. I've recognized some of you. I've helped some of you folks down at the factories, making sure you get all the benefits that you're due. I know for a fact that you're the ones manufacturing these things, manufacturing the vacuum tubes, all of the wonderful technology that's brought about the Electrovox revolution. And yet, here we are. You couldn't protect us. It couldn't protect us because it's being held by the people who are above us in society. And that ain't right, is it, folks? And I think that's kind of the thread that he launches into, saying, you know, hey, we're the ones who make these things. They wouldn't exist without all of our labor. And, you know, we should be able to use them ourselves.
Yeah, give me that compel low society, please.
Yeah. So I know I'm getting a base die and then a die for each pip. Can I get an extra die for having drawn the crowd?
Ooh, let me double check how that rule works. Dun, 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 dun.
Since this is almost certainly drawing the attention of some of the blue coats.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Because this is kind of, I think this is specifically to draw the crowd. I think that what this role is.
Okay.
For that effects rolls going on. So yeah. See how big of a crowd you draw with this roll.
Okay, so just 3 dice then.
Oh,
Hey.
with a 10, that is a critical success. I think there is you inflicting stress on this situation, because when you know, so there's stuff for attack rolls and things like that, but I think you inflicting extra stress on the situation is good. I think that's a good way of representing what's going on here. So let's see. You can describe this metaphysically or a specific like target with this crowd and the energy of kind of like, man, these cops are blocking us from doing our goddamn jobs. Who do you want the ire to be turned towards here?
I think that I want the ire to mostly actually be turned towards the spirit wardens, because those feel like the people who would most be getting in Dash's way.
Okay. Bear in mind that Layla is a spirit warden.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, but bearing in mind, Dash is wearing a blue coat's outfit.
There is drama either way. You can
It's drama potential. I love it.
I think I'm still going to focus towards the blue coats.
Okay, towards the blue coats.
Because they're the ones who are, you know, the ones who are kind of investigating this magical situation for the most part. And I did lean into a lot of the magic aspect of the thing. So
you know what? I love this. Give me a 1d8, please.
1d8.
Yeah, for the amount of stress you're inflicting.
If it's a crit, doesn't it double if we're going hearty?
I know. I've increased the size.
Oh, I see. Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. As people start to kind of like push and protest, some of the rank and file of the bluecoats are starting to kind of like come up to the barriers, like, hold on. This is entirely unnecessary. Calm yourselves. This is a matter that is going to be resolved quickly, and they're not being listened to. We pan the camera over to Dash and Layla for a moment. as we hear the kind of like rousing noise of the public behind you as you are starting to kind of investigate the scene. What do you do?
Well, I think Dash will take a step forward in front of the mural. Kind of like glancing at, may Dash have a hand back, please, Lila? I need to take some notes.
Of course. We're getting into the depths of the organization here. But while we have a moment of just to ourselves, did you do this?
Dash will shake her head. How familiar are you with how deep magic actually works, Layla?
Oh, goodness me, you know that my field of expertise is in electrovox magic. I couldn't possibly to understand the depths of the complexities of the things that you could achieve. Eyelids batting.
I think it's pretty accurate. Dash will produce from the depths of the blue coats, long coats, she went probably like a prop notebook with a pen. And I'll keep this brief, but magic is created by creating a magic circle. Although drawn is the most common way, you could also make said circle out of items like standing stones, words, even song. And once that circle is complete, the spell will carry out its effect. However, if you don't complete the spell properly, it can go very wrong, says Dash. But if you cut it off at a very early phase in its development, you'll start drawing a small circle on this paper. It will, technically, the technical term would be fizzle, which produces a small amount of waste, so light, heat, sound. She'll finish drawing this obscenely complicated looking circle, which she draws out at very fast speed, but it will look slightly patchy. And she'll draw a line on it at the end, and there'll be a little flicker of light, and then the paper will just start to smoulder. It'll scrunch it up and drop it on the floor. So when Dash made this mural, it looked very impressive, but it wasn't any sort of form of high sorcery or grand magic. It was actually lots of tiny circles or scales on that. No intent, very little power, just enough to generate enough heat that the various chemicals in the paint would form certain colours. So the only offshoot of it was a small amount of wasted energy. It didn't have any intent, and the circles don't interact with each other, so it wasn't going to actually breach dimensions and pull a demon through. So it actually requires significant focus and effort, and grander construction.
Oh, absolutely. If you did something like that, I would have had to shoot you on sight. Smile.
Yes, there's Dash. So the working theory Dash has that she'll sort of stand in front of the image, and I like the camera sort of panning, and you see almost the white outline of where this figure initially appeared, and then the scene of I can't remember what one word term they used for the cataclysm of Doskvol, or the fall of Doskvol.
But I think that was still marked somewhere in my notes. Give me a second. It was called the Baptism of Doskvol. Was the painting?
That was it. But the image of the single white figure amongst all this descending chaos on the city will suddenly derail Dash's train of thoughts. Dash puts a lot of stock in prophecy, and that foreshadows, she'll say, looking at the image, that the white outline.
A good third of the figure in the mural is replaced with a beige void.
So Dash's working theory, I don't think this summoned the creature. It didn't have the intent that would be needed. So
it's a creature, not a person.
don't know what it is. We'll go with entity. Entity works. But it was either here already. I think it was probably here already, and then the flash of waste energy the Muriel created drew its attention, and it came for a look. Because it didn't do anything when it arrived. It placed a hand on Dash's shoulder. I looked at it, and then it walked away. So it was either already here and drawn, or someone sent it to have a look. That's too many variables, mutters Dash.
Well,
Let's have a...
then you should go and have a look to see if there's anything you can glean. After all, I didn't pull you here for you to explain things to me. I'm not stupid. No. Smile.
Of course. Let's see where it arrived. There must be the entry point where it originally manifested. That's probably the first place for Dash to
give me an investigator cult roll about that. And there isn't anybody in your way, so get an extra D10.
Ooh, investigate the cult. And if I had total dice 1 to the input value, do I need to increase that after I've ticked my boxes?
I cannot remember if you...
2, I think. I think that should do it.
Okay. Let's double check.
I need to add 1 more.
Hey, 6 is your best shot. That is success at a cost.
Okay.
You start to investigate the space, and it's very difficult to investigate in an absence of evidence. But you do manage to find that it seems that when the man detonated, it was the man, not the entire person, which is a complicated thing, a way to say that the person's personal effects were left behind.
It's almost like a shell being a bubble popping around.
Yes,
something.
exactly. So the hat and glasses and so on and so forth are still there, and they have been kind of put quietly to the side. They are actually in an evidence box that you kind of surreptitiously pry open. You see that there are multiple evidence boxes, but in your kind of investigation of the cult, you can feel the magic in the space. The idea of trying to detect what magic other people have done is not your forte. You know how to paint magic into existence. The process of understanding other people's magic, if it's not written down in books or explained to you, is not really how you've previously operated. No. But you can feel the ocean, as it were, radiating from a box in particular, and you realize it is the mystery man's personal effects. And within it, you find a very specific item that I will put into chat and that you can note down on your own end. You essentially find a pair of boots that have a pair of shoes with sigils cut into the rubber of the soles. Putting it there. And you look at it, and it stands to the theory of what you previously explained. They have partially incomplete circles in them, and as you understand, they would also give off an amount of energy upon being activated. But you trying to look at them, they don't seem to be in a way that the fizzled spell would give light or heat or anything like that. Quite the opposite. It seems that when these when the spells in these shoes fizzle, they would remove light, heat, texture. They didn't activate on their own, which, you know, if you're walking around with shoes like these, you would be leaving a bunch of holes in its wake, right? But then you think back to the state of the stage when you were working. The paint was still wet, splattered all across the floor of the stage, and this man was on the stage and walked off it.
Oh, there was patterns drawn into the floor when he walked, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm. You
Let's
can
go
in
have a
fact see the like footstep-sized pools of nothing across the stage and across the floor, leading from the chalk outline to the stage, or vice versa, depending on how you think about it. But the order of events maybe is a little more clear to you, and you have this pair of shoes. Layla Mays looks at you. What do you do?
Dash will state there was whoever did this had some significant knowledge of magic. She'll say, lifting up the shoes, pointing at the sigil, having presumably taken a copy of it, and noted the type of shoe. I suppose one item of evidence going missing wouldn't cause too much bother, would it, Layla?
Oh, well, I suppose you could just owe me and I can turn my eyes away from the instance.
Excellent. Dash will steal a shoe and the glasses because she's decided to go with the current outfit.
Give me a second. I need to decide. Oh, right. This is how this works. When you ask NPCs for a favor, which are kind of asking her to turn a blind eye, they make a 1d10 roll, and success and failure and stuff like that will depend on the relationship they have with you at the end of the session. So okay.
Ooh, nice.
She watches you slip the single shoe and the pair of glasses into your coat / alchemical bag, your inventory, and says nothing about it. But she does say, well, I suppose this has turned up something very interesting. I think the boss would be very interested to go and hear that somebody's manufacturing shoes that dangerous around.
It does seem to be their next lead. You mean, yes, your boss, says Dash, sounding slightly pained.
I need to go and make a call. Funnily enough, she Revolver Ocelot twirls her Electrovox pistol and holds it sideways to her face, so she's not pointing the gun at herself. It's pointed at the ground. She's got the side of it pressed to her, and she makes a call. Meanwhile, wow. Imagine a gun that is also a phone.
I've seen that episode of Kamen Rider.
I was going to say it's very psychopath, but meanwhile, Adelaide, the crowd, these folks are into it. They're genuinely causing a pretty notable fuss about the fact that the cops are starting to intervene, and that have intervened in a way that they shouldn't, and as a result, the general effect of the magic balance is pulled away slightly from Ocean, pulling it back slightly towards neutral, as the idea of an equitable use of magic in the workplace has made the feelings of things a little less polarizing. What's not polarizing, however, is the amount of ruckus that this general thing has caused, and it seems like the bluecoats that kind of went to quell the circumstances have utterly failed to actually quell anything, and before long, a booming voice kind of calls out from over the rabble rousing. I think that would be quite enough, actually. A very tall man, dressed as a blue coat, his coat emblazoned with multiple badges and medals and so on and so forth. Tall boots that go up to the knees. Walks towards the crowd, and they all immediately fall silent. Now, who is responsible for causing such a disturbance?
Well, I suppose that'd be me. If you want to count the cause of the disturbance just to be my rousing speeches. I'd argue otherwise, but here we are. How can I help you?
Right. Well, I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm Detective Abel Islington, the head of this investigation on behalf of the Bluecoats, and you are, unfortunately, disturbing my investigation. I cannot abide that.
Well, how much longer do you think this investigation is going to need to take? Because I think plenty of people saw what happened yesterday. It should be fairly open and shut, shouldn't it?
Ah, I see. That's right. I suppose you are framing yourself as a man of the people. His expression kind of moves to a much more affable space again. Let's go with... man of the people. What should I be calling you aside from that?
Name's Adelaide.
Adelaide. Oh my. Are you by any chance Adelaide Deepwell?
That I am.
There's a smile. It's very toothy. I've read about you.
Well, can't say I'm embarrassed by that, but here we are. You say I call myself a man of the people.
It's
but,
not
I like to think
everybody. It's not
honest.
every day that you run into somebody where their reputation precedes them. Sorry about all those people, by the way. It must have been so dark down there.
That is an instant change in his demeanor from the okay, we're now being polite to the oh, you're one of those. I see. You're gonna be a dick.
So, to get back to the matter at hand, we are wrapping up. The investigation is going very well. I think I have all the bits and pieces that I need to know. Except, as I understand, you were seen during the incident, right? I don't believe I've had the opportunity to speak to you about it. I don't suppose you would be available to answer a few questions since you've taken the time to come back. Smile.
I would be happy to answer anything that you need answered as long as it helps speed things along.
Oh,
I got things to
marvelous.
do.
It's so nice when an investigation comes together. He looks at like one of the members of the Bluecoats. You let him through. We're going to be having a little chat. We find ourselves very briefly inside the Renaissance Roast. It's empty. One of the there is a Bluecoat and a Spirit Warden, both like taking a surreptitious break, and who have flasks of like tea and perhaps something stronger on them that they were in the middle of drinking. And Abel Islington walks into that instance, sees them both stunned and kind of stand to attention, and just snatches both flasks out of their hands. Go on, get outside. Yes, boss. You're not my... Get outside. Fine, says the Spirit Warden as they both leave.
That split second where the guy was like counting the stars on the shoulder, going, "Oh shit."
yeah. Now, he says, unscrewing both flasks, pouring whatever is in them into two cups, the tops of the flasks that double up as cups, and sits down at one of these tables and sits you across. How are you doing? Tea? I think this is tea.
I assume that since they're on duty, and I trust that all your folks are doing their job as it should, but...
Oh no, a good 30% of the Bluecoats are ardent alcoholics.
I think Adelaide will just kind of hold up hands in the universal symbol of "you said it, not me."
I know the people that I work with. They can be, for most, difficult to get on with, but fortunately, I'm the kind of person that can get results.
Got a few scars from people who try to get results, but let's hope it doesn't go to that.
like at this point.
My. Well, I think you'll find that I can be a delight to get on with as long as you are aiding in the investigation at hand. And to be honest, I was very interested to go and hear that you were on the scene. I do believe you were affiliated with some of the people who were working that event. Smile the widest, was it?
Quite.
Good.
They do
good.
some good work.
This all makes sense. He's scribbling something down. Now,
Oddly enough, I will say, in genuine words, we have no idea what happened last night, and we want to know just as much as you do. So, if there's something I can provide within my purview, I would, in this case, be very glad to assist you.
I would love for you to go and make a resist order roll for me, please. He is, through just casual conversation, it feels so casual, like it's not about the case at all. And yet you can tell that there is something that is getting under your skin.
Interesting question for you. I don't think this counts as violence against an enemy. Unless we want to count witty banter as, the cut and thrust of words.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is not a fight. But he is trying to get you to give more information than you would have otherwise.
Okay, then let's go ahead and roll this. It's just going to be 3 dice.
A 9. Okay. We've been going for a fair bit. We should go into a break soon. I apologize, Blacksmith, that we've not gotten to you. It's going to be the Blacksmith show on the other side of the break. Thank you for being so patient.
We go where the story goes. That's all that matters.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You have to answer one of them truthfully. You can, if you want to, lie about the others.
Do I get to know all 3 questions before making my decision on which one that I answer truthfully?
Oh, that's a very good point. Let me then hash out, because I'm also flying by the seat of my pants a little bit here. This has gone in a very interesting direction, what he's going to ask you. Okay. He's going to be asking you...
well, let me give you, while you're thinking, an option. The answer doesn't have to be yes to that. It may be narratively interesting to back me into a corner, perhaps.
Okay. Let me work through. Okay, can we? I think to have a moment of like table talk while I decide what these questions are.
Sure.
We have a brief flashback to the tram ride to the Renaissance Roast, where Layla Mays is kind of doing her own thing, but still has a hand on Dash's wrist. So Adelaide and Dash have a moment to kind of like speak to each other. Maybe not necessarily privately, she is sort of within earshot. But you have the ability to have a chat in that interim while I kind of work out what these questions are going to be.
Fair enough.
Dash will probably have the moment, because although she sort of doesn't know Adelaide quite as well as some of the other members of the crew, we'll sort of say thank you for coming on and accompanying Adelaide. Dash appreciates it.
Of course. We're right in my home territory, so this is a good place for me to be, and you're trying to be respectable about it, and while the blacksmith does good work, he is not exactly the kind of person that you want when you're trying to keep things respectable sometimes.
I think Dash, he's not to hear this. Dash knows his heart's usually in the right place, temper notwithstanding.
Don't taste him, but the kind of burly boy that you bring out when talks have already been strained beyond repair. Perhaps that's a better way to say it.
I'd rather not have a glance to Layla, who's presumably fiddling with her guns at the moment. Have those two cross each other in a disagreement.
Agreed.
It'll be
Agreed.
difficult. But yeah. So you say it's more your sort of area. Is this an area of the city you've actually spent quite a bit of time in, or?
Oh yes, I do a lot of work in any of the areas where there's large manufacturing, mining, that sort of thing going on. Deal with a lot of labor disagreements, shall we say. I'd say a good 85% of them have turned out well with a minimum of aggressive negotiation. Once one or two people learn their lesson, the others kind of come up along and realize that they should be working with their folks to make sure that situations are safe, make sure that everybody's well fed and housed and all these sorts of things. I'd say one of our biggest triumphs was just the fact that helping people realize that payment doesn't necessarily need to be in coin, but it can't just, if you're going to pay your people in housing and food and clothing and stuff like that, you can't punish them for not being able to show up to work if they're ill. That means they're going to be ill longer. It's just in everybody's best interest to keep your people, well, like I said, happy, healthy, fed, clothed, roofed, all that sort of thing.
There is a lot of bad employees in this city. It's nice to see where a difference is being made. We at least try and smile to do the best for our other... Well, we're a family at the end of the day, I should say, all the various people who do work for us. It was... After Bask left and Fish left, it was very hard. We were... Arthur's very clever and strong, but we were running out of money fast. Hence, she'll give a gesture to herself in a sort of this being a thing.
Well, quite frankly, that's a much better path to have taken than some of the others I've seen. Whenever you lose founders of an organization, it's easy for others to come in and make a mess of it, but putting yourself on the line like that, that's admirable,
Rather be dealing drugs again, mutters Dash.
On the one hand, I'm glad you're not, but I certainly understand why.
I think on that note, we move back to the present again. Thank you for vamping, and I think that was a very sweet moment, actually. Oh, we are a family. We try our best to smile the widest, even though it's hard. Ouch. Right. Detective Abel Islington looks at you, Adelaide Deepwell. Let's see. Please roll 20, I beg of you. Perfect. Adelaide Deepwell, I have just a few simple questions for you. It's fine, this won't take long. So, just to remind both myself, you, and the people listening, you have to tell the truth about one of these. But otherwise, you can leave half-truths or lie on the others and he won't notice. First of all, just to make sure I have my own notes right, how many magic practitioners are in operation at Smile the Widest?
Okay. So, above the table question, are we just talking about people within the party and named NPCs, or are we trying to include, other employees as well?
The cold hard facts, Dashia Locklear is the only person employed at Smile the Widest who is actively a magic practitioner. AU is heavily affected by magic, but he's not necessarily, a practitioner. It just happens to him. Even though Reed is currently working with or for Smile the Widest, he is not technically a member of that gang.
I'm
what is it? I'm like a 0-hour contract.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
0 hours nurse. That's somewhat terrifying.
Mm.
And I guess that. Oh goodness gracious! What was his name? The Nader D.
Oh, Cesare might also be a magic
Cesare.
practitioner if you want them to be.
I don't know that Adelaide would know the difference.
Sure.
Above the table, he's very much not, but not in the way you would hope he's not.
Fair enough.
As a reminder, nobody's ever really seen him without his mask.
Interesting.
So I think he's going to say, "Now, I can't speak for about half the staff there. You know, seen him bring me coffee, but nothing much beyond that. Well, we all know that Miss Dash is, and there's another fella who kind of gives me a weird vibe, but again, hasn't really done that. So 1, maybe 2.
An eyebrow raised. A weird vibe.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know really how to explain it. It's just one of those things. Like, you get a lot of that in this side of the city. Like, people who have, various religious proclivities and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes they're real deep into stuff. Sometimes they think they're real deep into stuff. You know what I mean? A vibe might just be a vibe.
Very well.
That sort of thing.
I would figure somebody who was in charge of so many people back in the day would have an eye for detail, but you only know what you know, I suppose. Moving on. A citizen Stoke Castic said that you repelled him from the area at the time of the incident. Why?
That one, if I recall correctly, is less of a personal, or less of a professional thing and more of a personal thing. He was an absolute tit. Just was not the kind of person who needed to be around the kind of high society event that was trying to be.
Ah, I see. It was a preventative measure, are you saying?
More of a trying to preventative would be the right way to think of it. Trying to prevent further issues, because he did not have the people's best interest at heart, no matter what he might say on his show.
I see. From how he tells it, he was supposed to be on his way to a place called the Ligature to go and repair a typewriter. And you had barred him from being able to make his way to the location. Very frustrated. Plus, he has been a key witness in many of the Bluecoats' previous investigations. Not that we would go so base as to hire an informant. He's just very connected to the community.
That is a polite way of saying how he engages with folks on his show. Can't say that I prevented him from getting to the ligature. I don't know where he was going after he was present at the events.
I see.
Can't speak to that.
Very well. Now, a final question for you. You mentioned that you only really have a vague sense of magical practitioners, but you did identify Dashir Locklear as one of the major ones. Just how advanced would you say Dashir Locklear is as a magic practitioner? His expression on the previous questions was pretty open, but this one you can tell he's like boring his eyes into you. You can tell that answering this one is actually kind of important.
Well, as far as I understand it, she's mostly a show gal as far as that goes. A lot of lights, a lot of flash, a lot of art. Well, normally it looks a little bit better than this. Or he'll gesture kind of vaguely in the direction of where the mural would be. But something went wrong last night. Don't think it was her fault. Somebody else in the crowd. Well, somebody who had been in the crowd and kind of glances in the direction of where that chalk line would be.
Mm.
Had something else afoot.
See,
above the table. I did not mean that as a pun, but
but we have
he
it
has
now.
no idea.
We have
But
it now. It's great.
It exists on that table. There it is.
There is a dry chuckle from Abel Islington. See, that is where things are not quite lining up for me.
Oh,
So, not that as somebody who's maybe a bit more of a lay person around the range of magic, I won't patronize you, but I'll give a succinct explanation. My particular field is in magical forensics. Being able to take the ambient results of magic and understand the nature of what went into making it. Now, the effects that you see out there, while they look mundane, are indeed, in fact, incredibly complicated. To perform something that could go and remove all forms of detail like that would take a street-level practitioner about 2 months' work of ocean magic ritual to complete. You are aware of the difference between ocean and Electrovox magic and how it's conjured?
The basics of it, yes. As you say, not a practitioner myself, so I've the more technical issues there.
Indeed.
Not so much. I've worked with some Electrovox things in my line of work, my previous line of work, but
Imagine carving something or singing something for 2 months. I don't think that lines up in the timeline of the reports of what we saw at that
Certainly not.
incident yesterday.
no.
So
I would,
I'm very curious indeed of how strong Dash is as a magical practitioner. But as you say, she is a, looking back at my notes, showgirl. She dresses like one.
Well, I'm not going to deny the fact that each area has their own technical expertise, and someone working the lights in a place might be able to talk to you for an entire evening just on the metrics of changing out a light bulb, or and he actually kind of gets a bit of a 1,000-yard stare of has been trapped in this conversation before, or as they intend to call it, a lamp.
Right. Well, I believe this has been a very delightful chat. The detective has not drunk any of whatever was in the flask that he commandeered from that blue coat worker. Did you drink any of what the spirit warden left? Fair enough.
Not at all.
Good call. I think we're done here.
All right, well, I appreciate the polite conversation.
And I think you've been very useful for this investigation. Mind how you go? I hope we don't speak again now.
Well, let's see if I find anything that needs speaking about.
And with that, we'll have a brief moment of you kind of reconvening outside and making your way out, and we'll go to a break. And then when we return, the other side of the story. So yes, he dismisses you from the Renaissance roast. He does not get up from the chair.
Yeah, it's fine. I fully was expecting to have to pull in that, specialty and resist being beaten unconscious. So this went swimmingly well.
Hey.
Walked away from a convo with a cop. Great.
He is perfectly fine to get along with as long as you do not hinder the investigation. So he says. Outside, you see Layla just talking Dash's ear off. I think it is something to akin of kind of like going over Dash's previous performances. And what were you thinking when you made that with the Chartreuse added in the 11th hour there? That's such a complicated idea. What was going through your mind at the time?
Well, it was. Oh, Adelaide, thank the gods. Over here, wave. This sort of help.
I see that we've both been of assistance at this point.
Yes, I think we've got at least a potential lead. The case is definitely afoot.
And I got to spend so much quality time with you. I'm going to treasure this moment.
It's always a pleasure, Lila. I'm actually always pleased to spend time with you and our fans.
And I'm sure that the folks at the Smile Wireless are also appreciating not having their door knocked down by our members of staff. I do believe that's your debt repaid. For now, you do owe me for that other matter.
Of course. We shall part ways, shall say, and I'm sure our pass will cost again in the course of this investigation.
Of
Oh,
course.
sure, we'll get things squared away.
Off you pop. And she waves around. Now, I don't know you, and you are currently on investigated property, so I would suggest you make your way off the premises, lest things get ugly. She runs one manicured finger along one of her Electrovox pistols.
Cute to spin on a heel and head out.
And with that, we're going to go to a 5-minute break. And then when we return, the other side of the story. I hope you're all enjoying Chant of the Void Sea. See you all in 5. Okay, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We are now back. We're back on the B-side of this session of Chant of the Void Sea.
Side.
Indeed, the Basque side of Chant of the Void Sea as we once again return to the map of Doskvol, and I go and put on something a bit more airy. Please, while that's going, we are currently we were previously at Crowsfoot. Looking into what was going on at the remains of the Renaissance race, but we're now resuming with Basque at their base of operations in Char Hollow. We've never been there before, so in a similar circumstance to talking about the Golden Hour, why don't we go around the table real brief and decide what the Forge looks like as a base of operations? It feels like Captain should kind of set the tone.
Okay. The fact that it's set in an industrial area, I like, and I do think it is very obviously a converted place. So it's definitely not the glitziest, it's not the nicest, probably kind of a hole in the wall. But they've built it up, and it's a place where his gang can come, group, talk to each other, drink. And his gang has always had the idea of to be like him, to be physically imposing, so there are definitely spots, get your pump on, if you will.
I'm getting the idea of like an old, possibly once ruined building, so it's all lots of very old plaster covered red brickwork, but with a lot of new wooden construction in the inside, perhaps that's been the new bits the gang have been adding to.
There's like a Lisa the Painful quality to a hospital filled with dudes working out. I love it.
They'll turn any place into a place where people are worshipping the pump of iron.
Electrovox beats playing over the stereo installation.
I mean, best way to get healthy is to get some gains.
Okay. Yeah. So it's
The one last thing I'll add is I think Reed has their own spot within the building.
I was going to ask, is there an office?
There's definitely an office, but also Reed has like a med bay to themselves because like the rest of the place is just, it's not cleansly, there's probably like dust all over the floor because no one really gives a crap.
Oh, you know what? It's the morgue, but only because of practical considerations. Like they need like cold spaces, cold temperatures, and the morgue is just naturally the coolest spot in a hospital. They don't deal with corpses, but if you have like a boo-boo, you have to go down to the morgue to see Reed.
Right, and it's very thrown in there, like just Reed was assigned to Basque, so like fine to have that space.
Reed's desk chair is like one of those plastic lawn seats,
very much what was available to you. There is you've made do with the limited amount that's been made available to you. Sure.
I want to say that in sort of like an indoor like atrium, I think, like where sunlight falls through, like an indoor garden, there is a single tree that is fully withered away but will not die.
It is to no but that very slightly. There is a single plant in the forge, and it is being maintained.
Okay.
It is being maintained by Henley, one of the members of the forge, who the blacksmith has taken a bit of a shine to, and has been I suppose directly mentoring. Would that be the best way to describe it, Captain?
I think, yeah, kind of. Most of the members have asked to join the gang, like wanting to be part of this powerful force. Henley was picked by Boss. And I've got a whole thing about that, but that's not important right now.
Yeah, most of in fact, before Reed kind of was like hired or based within the Forge, there were no magical practitioners at the Forge, aside from, it seems, Henley. And in fact, we move to that space now. We do not have a fancy background for it, but go ahead, yeah.
Quick about the table question. Is Henley a little protective of their position and sees like Reed as, I don't know, is there a rivalry?
I wouldn't think so.
Henley is a pretty earnest guy, it seems. Like, he's genuinely doing this to help people, but and I think has appreciated the fact that there is a way that whatever was going on in his life before, he wasn't really in a position where he was like helpful. And relishes the fact that he is now helpful and is kind of disinclined to. If Reed put, I think I would put it this way: if Reed decided to, for whatever reason, put Henley in a position where he would be now considered useless, he would hate that. But as long as that doesn't occur, Henley gets on with you just fine.
I think their relationship is very quiet, but when they're working together, they sort of like seem to seamlessly flow around each other and know what, you know, to give each other in terms of instrumentation, medication. They work well together.
I'd even say is this, like, I don't think Reed was, when he was brought in, replaces anything that Henley does. Henley is definitely not the same as everyone else. Everyone else is a bunch of bruisers. Henley is on the smaller side. But he is looked after. He's trying. He wants to be, like it said, he wants to be useful.
And in fact, we see Henley tending to the plant. It is a small tree, and not like a bonsai kind of thing, like a tree you would find in a park, but miniature, like a sycamore, but small enough that it's being somehow maintained healthily in a place that is otherwise mostly just kind of like steel plating.
Yeah, like wood pole to help it grow next to stability pole next to it.
And upon kind of like hearing the sound of footsteps kind of roll in, Henley gets up and looks back and I don't quite remember what voice I gave Henley. Apologies. So we're just gonna invent a new one.
No.
Oh, boss, you're back.
Come with me. And he will just do like very few words, just kind of look and just point, and we're going to boss office. And I think normally he would tell Reed to like stay away, not in this scenario.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say, like, Reed would just walk off and start seeing if any of the members of the other, like, the juniors have bruises, but no, they're like, oh shit, okay, yeah.
Yeah, boss, sure. And follows you dutifully through. You, shall I put a pot on, or?
No, just sit.
I could go for some coffee. And I think you could too.
Yeah, no worries.
Sit down.
Oh, please, give me a compel roll.
I think with difficulty, because Reed is gonna be like, just treat him normally.
There is some friction here. Oh, actually, I like that. Both of you, even though this game isn't really designed for PvP, I like the idea that both of you give me a compel low society. I think is the domain here.
All right, so I've got 2 pips, one for compel, one for low society.
You're rolling 3d10 then, baby.
2d10. Let's
All right.
go. Round 1, fight.
Yeah, this is a first to 1 though. No salty runbacks. With the 10.
Oh, listen, I mean, the rollback system is just bullshit, and I tried my friend.
The sun was in my eyes. They were playing on Wi-Fi.
Whatever. I can still come back from this. I don't want worried at all.
Yeah, no, Henley looks between the both of you, and then when Blacksmith is like, sit. He's like, yes, boss.
It's like a dog with his 2 parents.
Absolutely. Fully. And since, as a result, give me the tone, Blacksmith. What are we shifting to in terms of tone here?
So we're in the blacksmith's office. He's got like a large desk in front of him. It is beat to hell. Like they found this on the side of the road somewhere. This is not custom order thing. You see the hat come off, the jacket come off, the sledgehammer just lean up against the desk. And you just breathe in. Because he didn't want to yell at Henley. But he doesn't also want him to go make coffee at this instant.
Let's get it.
So Jeff.
Let's yeah. Well, I'm listening. Is it serious? You look serious.
Yesterday. You remember what happened yesterday?
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to get so many people inside before they, had seizures or hurt themselves thrashing around or what have you. But I don't get why it happened or anything. I didn't really see the guy that you said was there before everything popped off.
Henley, none of that matters to me in this instant. Yesterday, you did something that I've never seen you do ever before.
Yeah, it was, he looks at, like, the palms of his hands, like, down. I mean, I only ever really thought it was good for keeping the tree going and, when Reed's asked me for a handful of, like, specific herbs, and I don't really know what they are, so I can't make them, but I've been trying. I mostly end up making dandelions, and he's rambling.
Okay, stop.
Sorry.
I need you to think back. Think back to yesterday. Tell me, did you hear anything? Did you feel anything?
Well,
when you were able to do that?
So, the way I maintain the plot, it's like, what's the word for it when you say, like, the phrase over and over as a way to kind of, like, clear your mind or whatever?
Meditative? Mnemonic?
A mantra. Yeah, thanks, Reed. It was a mumble. It was a word, I think. Anyway, so I'm repeating like a phrase over and over, right? And that kind of like circle of saying it over and over is what helps the like manifest. I can't like do much with it. It was just, looking after my mum's garden when she still had a garden, and looking after the tree and stuff. And then I only really needed to say it once when I was kind of reaching out. Like I wanted to see if I could. I wasn't able to go and reach. What's his name? Matthias Van Roy. He tried to like jump the barrier, And I was kind of like reached out and then like, no. And in the back of my head, I didn't even say it out loud. I said the mantra and it just happened. Like it just welled up within me. Like I just knew, like I'd always known how to do it. I mean, I've tried to do it since, and against his better judgment, looks out the doorway, gestures his hand out the doorway, and you can tell by his expression he is thinking the mantra, not saying it. And like, you feel the air pressure shift slightly, but otherwise nothing happens.
Can I try to sort of subtly find out what he did to attune to that action?
Sure. Give me an investigate occult, I guess.
Sounds good. Yeah, in this scene, I think because of being outshouted, Reed is just cross-legged and kind of like hanging back in the conversation. You said investigate occult?
Yes, please.
I've got 1d10. If anyone got a treat
Oh,
for
okay.
me.
Yes, I will offer you a devil's bargain. You get an additional 1d10, but I will. It's not a fallout, but there will be a mantra that will now start like knocking around in your head like an earworm, and you won't really be able to get rid of it until you decide to actually use it practically.
Sounds fun. Accept.
Okay. So add another d10 to that roll, please.
2d10.
You feel the air pressure shift with that 3. And it makes you think about, well, now you're also thinking about that event and how it just kind of, this was a domain of magic which has always felt within your control. Like your entire career has been based around the idea that this is something that you understand. There are people that have ocean magic as a large part of their lives. They don't even know it's magic, but you know, and you've been using it to help people. And you've understood it maybe innately, maybe via study. Actually, that's a good question. Is your understanding of ocean magic innate, or is it through study?
Very much innate, yeah.
It's always something that has felt second nature to you, like breathing. And it's very difficult for you to, there are instances where your breathing can be out from your control, but it's not a concept you would really process. This is the first time that you have experienced ocean magic be out of control wildly while you are present. You've heard about it, but you've never experienced it. And that thought echoes around in your head. We came from nothing, we'll return to nothing.
We came from nothing, we return from nothing.
We return to nothing, yes.
Return to nothing. I say that out loud.
As actually, it's almost there is the gesture that Henley makes to kind of make vines appear, and nothing happens, and then you say, "We came from nothing, we'll return to nothing" in response. Yeah. I've been trying. I can't do it. It's frustrating.
When Reed says that, because Boss heard that when he was in the nothingness, right?
Well, funny. I mean, we didn't really get into your headspace directly about what was going through your mind while you were in the void.
Okay.
There was no external stimuli, but as far as we saw on camera, we did not discuss what Bask was thinking about while you were in sensory deprivation timeout.
Okay.
Was there anything that was knocking around your head out of curiosity? You didn't hear a specific phrase or anything, but was there anything knocking around your head while you were?
I mean, no specific words, just the sensation of fear of the nothing.
So actually, yeah, maybe you didn't have this specific phrase come up, but the idea, the word nothing now seems to have a different meaning to you, and that sucks. Like it's not a curse like a swear word, but
Right,
it has
it's trauma.
it has a weight now that wasn't around before.
It invokes something, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Henley, one more. Stop whatever you're doing. And just think
Yes.
one more time.
Yes, boss.
Did you see or hear anything yesterday before it all went down? Try and think.
We're gonna go and make a. We're gonna make a. He's part of your social links, so we can make a roll about this.
Social link, go.
He does with a consequence. Okay. He thinks really hard. Like you see him close his eyes and like concentrate. Just keeping an eye on the crowd. And then, well, I didn't see anything, I don't think. It was more of a feeling. Like, you know when you feel that somebody's behind you and you look around? Like the opposite. Like I could feel the energy of... I knew that there were people behind me. I knew that Dash was on stage and everything. And I don't know what she does, but I could definitely feel what she was doing was building towards something. And then it just went quiet, like a bubble of quiet, just made its way. And it's not something you'd think about, really. Like you can't... Sensing nothing. But then it just kind of became the loudest voice in the room. It was eerie. Like they could have been there the entire time and nobody would have even thought about it. Shit. Like, are they here now? Did it follow us? He gets up from the table.
Henley, calm down.
No,
Calm
this
down.
is... And Reed and Blacksmith, give me a resist... a resist occult.
Ooh.
So that's just going to be 1d10 for me because I got nothing in either.
I got 2. After you, boss.
Oh!
Oh no.
Okay.
Hey, I'm so sorry, but eat my dust.
Yeah, okay.
It's 1-1.
Hey, Bask.
Yeah.
Go give me a 1d6 mind stress roll and double it.
Hold it. I activate my spell to
You're gonna take stress to reduce the amount of stress that Bask will take on this roll, right?
yes.
And the stress. Can you read the ability, please?
I screamed hold it too soon. I'm so sorry. Because it's before you roll for fallout, but after you roll for stress. So rewind.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So
Can
I've
you
got no
please make
bits to
one?
reduce it. Yeah.
Just make 1d6 and then double it because that was a critical failure.
Oh my god.
Okay.
If you roll high.
You are about to take 10 stress.
Okay. I do my little spell. Jeez. So how it works, I'll just read it out loud. When nearby ally marks blood or mind stress, they heal d6 from that tracker before GM rolls for fallout.
Okay.
But I
So
stress.
right. So have you marked that 10 stress on your sheet?
I have not yet.
Please do that first.
That's so much.
Drum roll, please.
Now.
I would just like to point out, this is in addition to the 2 I already had.
Meaning that if it doesn't get any lower, then you are guaranteed to take fallout from this. So that's Reed rolling how much stress they're taking, right, to do this effect. Okay.
But I have 2 mind pips.
Okay, so you only. I think the that resistance is stress externally happening to you rather than the effects of your spell. You do take full stress from the spells you cast. I think.
Then I am at a high stress load.
You've not had to roll fallout yet, so you know you're just a ticking time bomb. I love that for you. Now that you've added that 10 stress to your sheet, Bask, please go and roll 1d6. Was it?
Yes, 1d6.
Okay.
You got this. See?
Hey, not bad. Lower your stress by 6. And we'll narratively talk through what the fuck is going on after we resolve stuff like Fallout. And go click that funny little Fallout button in the top right, please. 3. Okay, that is definitely under the amount of stress that you currently have.
I worked so hard.
Let me just double check a thing.
It's not impossible.
So what is your okay, so the 3, it's a minor fallout, it's not a major one.
Okay.
You fully believe Henley when Henley is concerned about the presence of the man in the pork pie hat being here. That is a genuine concern to you, a pressing concern to you. And I will give you the Fallout Afraid of the Shadows. At least for this scene.
Okay.
It's temporary. This will happen and then it will wear off. At least for this scene, you need to confirm that the man in the pork pie hat is not here.
Okay. Well, I think Reed, and I don't know if Henley sees this because he's also freaking out, but Reed will see that Bask has now started to panic a wee bit. And his natural instinct is probably to flip his fucking desk.
One last thing, because I do remember, because you suffered minor fallout, you do clear all mind stress, so that track does go back down to 0.
Small victories.
Yay!
Yeah. I think Reed picks up on whatever's in the air. It doesn't affect them as much, but immediately just kind of starts chanting, like, despite the droning of, like, we came from nothing, we returned to nothing, tries to get their own spell elements going, and sort of tries to soothe Bosk a little bit while being bombarded with all these, ideas.
Yeah, it's not even like it's strange. You did not necessarily feel magic occur when Henley got up. It's just the pure force of paranoia almost washed over all of you simultaneously. Like the thought is infectious somehow. But you didn't feel any magic necessarily happen.
Does that remind me of the sensation of ocean magic out of control?
I think that's how this is maybe how Reed feels about. How does Reed feel about the idea of ocean magic being out of control? Does it make you panic? Does it make you angry?
It's something that they need to work like down to medical procedures. So they need it to be in control, to be an exact science almost. So the prospect of that is demoralizing, I think.
You have just watched a conversation fall the fuck apart out of the fear of something that you loved. Still do love, you think?
Okay. Boss, whatever you're going through, I need you to be a leader here. It's nothing. There's nothing here. It's just us three. There's just you and your sledgehammer, and you're in control. Okay?
Okay, so boss has tossed his desk. That's
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you take Reed's words to heart. The man is not in this room. It does not mean that the man is not in this building. You should go look. You should go look now.
Okay. Fuck. He will turn to Reed and go, "Watch him," pointing to Henley, and just beam out of his door.
Hold on. What do you think? And wants to sort of like yell after him, but realize it's useless. Pinches. Well, can't really pinch anything because they're wearing a big mask, so doesn't do that. But looks at Henley and goes, "All right, let's go see what your magic is capable of. Because if there's something here, we need to go find it and make sure that Bosk is not losing his mind."
And we watch you. The camera kind of dispassionately observes as Blacksmith, Henley, and Reed go through every room of the forge, disrupting the various workouts going on and making them join in the research, join in the
100%,
search.
yeah.
And they keep asking what you're looking for, and you keep yelling back nothing, and they continue to be confused and frustrated by this endeavor.
Oh, I hate this so much.
Eventually, there does not seem to be any sign of a man in a... You look out the window and see somebody walk by in a pork pie hat, and you storm out of the building, and you're like, that's not him. No, he looked different. He looked different.
Just presume them putting him down again.
Okay. The place has been checked. He's not here. He's not here.
As soon as that is done, because during all of this, Boss will have been shouting orders to everyone to check everything, look everywhere, turn everything upside down, search every place. And as soon as it's done, calm down. He'll be at the front entrance. There's men looking at him. He'll just turn back and go, "Get back to what you were doing."
And A, you can now clear that fallout. That criteria has now been cleared. B, after a moment of staring at you, they nod. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. And get back to what they were doing. How do you feel?
It's such a complicated question.
Game's about complicated feelings.
Yeah, I have two would have thought best have complication. He is filled with just confusion and anger, and still just a heaping dose of fear about whatever did this to him. Something that he cannot physically touch, that he cannot use his impressive strength on. He is not equipped to deal with this, and it kind of terrifies him.
In the moment of both of you getting a chance to breathe, Hanley goes, "Oh, sorry, I meant to mention to you, but then you kind of summoned me to your office and everything, but a letter came for you, by the way."
He'll just stick out his hand. He won't even say a word.
You are given a letter. The envelope is expensive, and there is a seal on the back. It looks like, well, it's pretty clear what the wax seal on the back is. It's an 8-pointed star. The cardinal directions are slightly longer.
Okay, he will take it back to his office.
You
His
realize
destroyed
now
office.
with mild, you realize with initially confusion and then mild annoyance that your desk is currently upside down.
Yep. Yep.
Who could have done this?
Yeah. He will go and just, he's not going to fix it right this second. He'll open the letter, finally getting the response that he's been just kind of begging for at this point. And what does it say specifically?
Clarence, I've heard you have been looking for me. I'm available for a talk. Want to get dinner? At the usual location. Star.
What a jerk. I thought we were cool, but okay.
And with that... and with that...
Yeah, but just to lead up before he goes, he'll grab his coat, grab his gear, his hat. He will specifically go to Henley and tell him, Henley, you are not to leave here. Do you understand?
Yes, but why?
There is something happening. It's happening all around this city. I don't know what it is. And not only does it affect you,
but I can help people if I'm out there, right? Like,
Henley, I can't. You will stay here.
He looks heartbroken. And, like, he knows better than to look. It's funny. He has a very positive relationship with you, usually, but also knows what you can be at your worst and what you have been before this line of work at your worst. And he knows better than to be directly angry at you when you are also angry. Okay.
Reed.
What's up?
I know you'd like to tag along to my little journeys. Not this one.
Actually, I wasn't planning on. Someone needs to clean up because we did search the morgue for your ghost. It wasn't there, but someone has to recategorize all my medical equipment.
Good. You do that.
Yeah. Hey, can I tell you something?
What is it, Reed?
There's a moment where you just see these two faces that are their mask staring at you, and you see, I think, like the light falls for such a moment that you can see the inline, like, or the silhouette of lips, like smacking and opening to say something, and nothing comes out, and Rita says, "Bon appetit. Have fun at dinner."
And he'll just nod and out. He's gone.
You move across town. We won't need to go to the map. Oh, that's where Henley went. The token vanished underneath the backgrounds. That's cool. I love that for me. We move back across town to the docks area. It's now evening. This is an area known as Warehouse District 53, I believe. Making sure I have my notes correct. Warehouse Complex 54. I know the things that I've written in my own document. A collection of red brick and corrugated steel warehouses that was, in the past, an abattoir and meat processing facility for the leviathans that they fished out of the oceans. But a change in economy and the number of main fishing vessels that were destroyed by said leviathans have now moved the industry elsewhere. So it's now been repurposed into cheap, uncomfortable housing and a variety of what you might call unsociable businesses. It's real quick going around the table as we kind of walk through the kind of like streets of Warehouse Complex 54. What are some businesses that are there and open in this kind of like early evening? It's now about 6-7 p.m.
I think there are a couple of stalls that are sort of selling things that are definitely, absolutely today's catch. Promise.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shoemaker / key forger.
Of course. There's always going to be one of those for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's.
Go ahead, None.
I was going to go for a particularly very old and dusty antique shop. Old Grand Bazaar kind of vibes.
Mm-hmm.
No prices on anything.
A pop-up vegan restaurant in one of the adjacent warehouses that does not cater to the local tastes at all.
I want there to be just like a bodega.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like just something that's open late, has like if you need to order a sandwich or something, it's there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think as there are more, as the food places kind of like dense, and especially that kind of bazaar with no prices, you move into one of the larger warehouses. We can see Henley again briefly as the world changes. There you go. Hi, Henley. Fucking, why there? Thanks, Roll20.
Help, I'm trapped behind this acid. Help me.
He's just always on our minds.
You enter the Bazaar of the All-Seeing Eye. One of the larger offices, one of the larger warehouse areas. It's this market attracts the connoisseurs of the ocean magic fraternity and people who want a good meal, banned spices, dubious reagents, dangerous tomes, and some of the best fucking street food you've ever had.
I go to. This is not the first meeting I've had with the Star.
You know where to go. You know what to order.
Yeah. I go up to the pre-designed stall cart street food vendor, and I say, I need the Shooting Star special.
Oh, of course. I can. I'd be more than happy to make you the Shooting Star special. Would you like that spicy or extra spicy?
You can pick. Surprise me.
Very good, sir. You get a, you know those kind of like paper cones that they'd serve like Iberian ham in?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like that, but filled with spicy paella. And then you're given a little wooden fork to kind of, spear the various bits of seafood and very finely diced vegetables among the nuclear hot rice.
Okay. The actual food I'll probably hand off if there's an urchin walking by. Just give them that, but keep the paper cone myself. Because that is going to be like, I'm over here kind of thing.
So hang on. You just hand this urchin a pile of spicy rice.
I was gonna say.
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
You sit on the usual bench, and before long, a man sits next to you. That would be, well, he is handsome, but at this particular range, you kind of notice the sheer number of scars this man has. They're fine, like they've healed over time, but they are numerous and they are not in any kind of careful pattern. just like every single battle this man has had across his life has chipped away at him in one way or another. The last time, well, Bask, we saw the Star as he was leading a squad of spirit wardens in a siege on Aunt Angie's house a year ago in pursuit of you and Smile the Widest, following suspected terrorist activity. Have you seen him since then?
Sorry, I was muted. The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think because Bosk always wants to help improve this city.
Mm.
So he's had the occasional meeting with him just to like touch base about things that maybe his gang could help do that, you know, others can't.
Mm. And in fact, the Star on occasion has sent people with recommendation, capital R, to work at the Forge. You are unsure whether this is him investing in your new organization or just putting enough people that are loyal to him among your organization where if he needed to intervene, he has the people that could help him do it. So far, it's not mattered. So far. So, you've been looking for me lately.
I assume you've heard about yesterday's event.
Yes. In the grand scheme of things, very unsubtle. But I suppose Dashia Locklear is a very flashy lady.
This has nothing to do with Dash.
Oh, no?
There's something worse out there. Something that shook me to my fucking core.
There is a imperceptible raise of eyebrow. You, Clarence, shaken.
I was put somewhere where I could feel nothing, hear nothing, see nothing.
Now, I do believe you saw the perpetrator before they popped. So I hear.
The man in the pork pie hat.
Yeah.
I tried to hit him, and he disappeared.
And glasses.
And then all hell went loose.
Right. See, that's what I found very unusual about the situation. I have no idea if this voice is picking up on mic correctly. It might be a bit too deep, I don't know. Is it fine? Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, you're good.
Yes, well, let's go for this one. That's the interesting thing. I have seen the man by that description. Recently, in fact.
Where?
He's
Do you
not-
know who he is?
According to employee records, I have been told that this man's name is Ben Whitworth. A background check.
Employee records? What employee record?
He is, as far as I understand, an ordinary man, working an ordinary labor's job at a workshop, I believe, called the Ligature.
You sure this is the right person? Because there was nothing ordinary that happened yesterday.
A white man, around 5'8", in a brown pork pie hat and gold round glasses. That's the guy. You remember that. I mean, you were face to face with him. That was the last thing you saw before he detonated. That fully matches the description.
And he works where?
As I say, a workshop that makes, I believe, typewriter pieces and electrovox technology called the ligature.
And what have you done about it?
His brow furrows. You expect me to go and spirit away a member of the public?
If he is a member of the public, I think it's something more. More importantly, if you have this information, you don't think you should talk to him at least? What the hell are you even doing then?
Clarence, the position I am in, under the two groups that I lead, leaves me A, very busy, and B, in a position where I won't want to give my hand away on a moment's notice. You have given me the lead. I am not going to show my face in a venue to a potential civilian on a lead. If you want to accuse this man, this Ben Whitworth, of genuinely frightening you, then I suggest you pay him a visit yourself and be thankful you have the information in the first place.
You're unfucking believable. What, are you too scared to do something now?
So, unless you do something mechanically about it, that will specifically piss him off. If that is your... Okay.
I'll say that as I get up to walk away. Because I think we've reached the end conclusion. But I will have one quick stop in front of him as he's still sitting and go, you keep using a name that no one else gets to use. And I've let it slide time and time again because I thought we had a goal.
We do have a goal, but I thought, considering your history, that it is worth reminding you the relationship between us and among the gangs of Doskvol. Do not forget that I control the unseen.
And what good is that if you can't lift a damn finger when something truly terrifying happens? So let me be clear. I'm the blacksmith. And if you use that name ever again, you will meet with my hammer.
The star looks flatly at you. It is a wonder how little you've changed in a year. Goodbye, blacksmith.
And Bas will turn and walk away.
Now, this is a setting that does not have computers. The fanciest thing that this setting has is a radio. But it does mean that there is something equivalent to telephoning, or at least being able to broadcast on specific frequencies. It is not something that happens very often amongst you, but in instances where Arthur Uxley needs to contact you urgently, he can send a broadcast on a specific frequency that will react to a thing that is on your person. I will let you decide what particular receptacle that you have that is that responds to electrovox frequencies in this specific way. But it is a way where he can call all of you, and it is also an instance where you can call each other, not necessarily with words, but at least alert each other that there is something urgent going on in an emergency. Not to softball you what you should do next, Blacksmith, but
Yeah, I was definitely thinking already to page AU and pretty much everyone to meet back up. It'd probably go the order of hit up Reed first, and then AU, and then let AU reach out to everyone else.
We won't necessarily dwell on the kind of contacting each other in that space kind of thing, but ultimately, what kind of information does everybody want to exchange? This is Ooh, actually, I like this. Are you going to be heading to the ligature today? You do not have to. It just depends on what scene happens next.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think for once in his life, he's going to hold back and group up first.
Okay. So with that in mind, then, I deleted the asset because I'm very smart, but I suppose this means we are... hey, you know, I'll remember to actually make it as part of the background lists next time instead of just assuming that I did it in advance and everything was fine the first time round.
Viewers beware, the GM made something and then reduced it to nothing.
Nothing. We came from nothing and we'll return to nothing. Yeah. Okay. In that case, then, we find ourselves, once again, and for the final time this session at least, in the golden hour. The energy in the room is very difficult to kind of quantify.
Reed is on edge.
Yeah, Bask is also not in the best of places right now.
Dash, in a failing to read the room kind of way, is probably actually in a much better mood than she was this morning. The boots have certainly been kicked off and the hat has been thrown unceremoniously in the corner of the booth.
Is she still wearing the blue coat, or did you just say that? Sorry.
That's probably been slung onto the side somewhere.
All right. Considering you got on the horn with us, Blacksmith, it sounds like you've all found something. How about you go over what you know? If you wouldn't mind, I mean. It is...
I found him.
There's a confused blink. Yeah?
The man in the pork pie hat.
Oh.
The man who caused all of this, apparently. He has a name. He has a job. He apparently exists.
Well, really? I mean, that's good news, I think.
I, the player, have already forgotten the name because I have very short attention span.
Ben Whitworth.
Ben Whitworth. Looking at Dash, does the name Ben Whitworth mean anything to you?
If he is a great practitioner of magic, he's certainly a very quiet one, by Dash's estimation.
Does this name ring a bell with anyone?
No.
Okay. Sorry, Tom, I interrupted.
No, it's absolutely fine. Dash will reach into her bag of tools and things and produce a singular boot, pushing her newly acquired glasses up her nose slightly, and she puts it sole up onto the table. These are the shoes of this entity. I'm not quite convinced it would be something so mundane. But as you can see, there's at least some level of magical circle being inscribed onto here. I was going to go and take it for analysis to a few experts, as it's oft like a signature of a skilled magician. But if you've managed to just find out who this person is, which does surprise me a bit, because I wasn't expecting... I don't know, I was expecting something, Dash was expecting something else.
By all accounts, he's nobody. He is... And there'll be a beat. He's a nothing.
Right. And you're still paranoid enough to want to pursue this nobody, so can we just get it over with?
Yes, I agree. Moving it on quickly might be an idea, but Dash said let's not jump straight to violence. This seems too mundane.
Listen, I can run a check with the Weeping Lady, see if any of the churches have received someone called Ben Withworth, and we'll find out a little more about this person there. But I agree, let's not rush in. This might actually be nobody. This might be nothing.
But it's the best lead we've got. So.
He matches the description to a T. But...
And do you know where we can find this guy?
Yes,
That's the same.
he works at this was the ligature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, 2-second information, already slowing out. He works at the ligature. He is employed there. He has records. He exists, apparently. But going on what happened yesterday, I agree. We need more.
Adelaide.
Because
The name of that business rings a bell.
Mm-hmm. Now, hang on. You said the ligature?
yeah,
I
whatever.
I was informed that apparently I got in the way of Mr. Stoke Castic, who was swore up and down that he was on his way to that business yesterday.
Reed scoffs at that name.
Yeah, I didn't pick up anything when we had our initial engagement, but the fuzz was telling me that that's apparently what they were told, was that I got in his way of him going.
All right.
So what does the one have to do with the other?
And this Stoke Castic was there yesterday, right? I remember him.
Indeed, he was.
And
I had a not so friendly encounter with him.
sounds like we have another name we might want to follow up on.
I'm sure I take a great deal of pleasure from somebody who is trying to hog the airwaves against ours, being in trouble. But I don't know if we necessarily have a lot of evidence to say that he has been up to mischief for Bong, aside from being a fucking idiot. But hey, it is, I suppose, a lead. So, if I understand it right, one of you needs to pop down to the ligature, see if this Ben Whitworth exists. Who did you hear that from, by the way, Blacksmith?
Where I get my information isn't a concern. Just know that it's good.
AU says nothing, but his eyes shine and his teeth crackle. Fair enough. So, someone's gonna go check out the ligature. I think Reed said that they wanted to go and see if anybody at the Weeping Lady knows too much about what's going on. I do believe, if I remember correctly, that Christine Tate, the owner of the Renaissance Roast, is a practitioner. I wonder I do kind of wonder how she's holding up, considering not only did her grand opening not really go to plan, it's also can't really be open for business until people are done investigating, so...
Yeah, we had a little heart-to-heart at the opening about our faith, but I'll check her. I'll see if I can find her. Ask if she knows a little more about a porcupine man.
Tomorrow is a service day. She might be around. And, wanted to go look into Stoke Castic, huh?
Just give me a reason.
Well, it looks like tomorrow's going to be pretty busy for you four. Assuming, that is, this is something you will want to pursue. Ultimately, our goals in the grand scheme of things in terms of this business have not changed too much. We need to find ways to keep bringing in new money now that our last line of work is sunk. But if we have to go and clear our names to stop us from being run through by the feds, then I suppose this is our job now.
There's an aligning, says Dash. Something going on in the background still. Don't believe in coincidence.
When this
Right.
weird stuff's involved.
There's something happening that I think could destroy this city, and I aim to stop it.
All right. Well, who wants a cup of tea before heading home?
Whiskey would be better.
There is a polite smile from AU. Neat, right? You don't take it on the rocks, do you?
Why get it in the way?
Mm-hmm. Blacksmith, you take a glance around the room. You look at Dash, and then the reflection of those round gold glasses. You swear you see something. But it's probably just a trick of the light. And on that, I think this is our session of Chant of the Void Sea.
Yay!
Mm.
God, I need a nap.
Good work, everybody. Good work, everybody. This was great. This is great. This is good. I enjoyed this a lot. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, no, fantastic work, everybody. How are we feeling?
Tired.
Ouch.
What do you mean? How am I feeling?
I'm freaking out. Help.
Lots of tension in that one.
Mm.
More
No.
questions than answers. Love it.
Hey, you know, I wasn't necessarily expecting this campaign to pan out to be a mystery story, but I guess I know what I like to write. Yeah. Cool. Let's go and do a little bit of comments and kudos around the table, shall we?
Hell yeah. I want to give Nathan kudos specifically for the speech they give as a star with Bosk. Just specifically the line of like, you've given me a lead. I'm not gonna like reveal myself for a lead. That I thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah, I you know, it's interesting that he, in a way, considering the previous campaign, he is essentially the descendant of the man who was shot. At least, crime boss descendant, not necessarily family. So there is clearly some gravitas behind this man, but the fact that in the intervening year, nobody necessarily respects him like they did the previous person is telling and interesting. Is it a different tact, or is he a softie? We don't know. We may find out.
I will say that everyone who got to have an interaction with Bosk, I thoroughly appreciated you playing with me in that space. Mostly because they were all hostile. So just that kind of back and forth was nice. Like, just the accusatory things with Dash, just the constant bickering with Reed. Yeah.
Like I think the mom and dad bickering is a very funny way to describe it.
It does make me excited to see maybe next session we do this, to see some Blacksmith Adelaide shenanigans next, and seeing how that dynamic goes down. I'd be very excited to see. But yeah, no, I think Captain, you did a fantastic job at finding, the blacksmith is scared and angry to different degrees, but it didn't feel one note throughout the session. Like, it's very different textures of that feeling that went throughout the session that I definitely felt that was very good.
Thank you.
I think I'll have to throw mine out for the fantastic rabble rousing and angle that Adelaide took with it. That just works so well for the situation. It's like, oh, no, actually, yeah. Well, also, what they're saying is absolutely on the nose as well for the conflict in the city and how everything's rolling at the moment.
No, I really that was a great way to kind of like also highlight that. Oh yes, we as characters have active methods of changing the public perception about magic in the setting and what that might mean and where that might go. You can, if you ever feel the need to, make a specific called shot to make a big swing. If you really want to go and shift people's perceptions about either Ocean or Electrovox, you super can.
Okay.
Food for thought.
And I'm going to give kudos again to Ruben and Captain Comic Geek, just because of how fascinating the interactions between their characters are to me, because it would be really easy for it to go bad because of the friction that exists between your characters, but you two work together really well to keep that moving forward without letting it bleed.
Thank you.
Ultimately, they're both people interested in getting the job done, even if they are mad about it. Yeah. No, I'm very excited. We because obviously we have session notes that are available to everybody. We do have some bits and pieces that we didn't get to in this session, but that is okay because it means we get to explore them next time. I'm glad that we got to kind of give the scenes that we did have good room to breathe, so everybody got to kind of like really settle in how they're feeling. Like, the first session was kind of genuinely pretty traumatic, so everybody dealing with the fallout of that is real as fuck. I think that's very reasonable that we kind of took our time to just be like, oh my god, that made me feel wretched, actually. Good. Is there going around the table, is there anything people are excited to see next time?
I want to see what connection there is at this place at the ligature. Like, where does this go? Like that is I did not expect those two things to be connected. At least not this directly.
I am also kind of shocked by the fact that this guy is just a guy. Like he's not. Like, what the fuck? I expected like a Mr. Bingle situation.
I am still very much expecting a Mr. Bingle situation. It's like that's like regular person. No, not a chance. Don't believe that for a second.
Who's to say? Who's to say?
The fight scene we had, It's,
Who's to say? There's no evidence to say that those two scenes are connected.
Yeah. I think I said so much for the session. I might at some point have to pick up Godfrey. I forgot what I even called him now. Tillinghast, wasn't it? At some point, I quite enjoyed that far too much.
Yeah, I guess I need to go and make this motherfucker a character now, and have you voice him whenever he appears on screen. So yeah, for sure.
Calvin and I had a little back and forth about like the voice inspiration. And I said you should sound like a walrus, and you came with like a Blackadder character, right?
Yeah.
No, there was definitely a mustache there. That definitely came across in the choice. Yeah.
I gave Stochastic a different voice. Tried to go Jesse Ventura with it.
Yeah.
gosh, we have a bunch of mysteries that are going on. Very exciting. What we're going to go and do real quick is just move over to our credit screen. Whoa. Okay, yes. We're letting those credits scroll very briefly. But yes, I'm so glad everybody's continuing to have a good time, and the drama and everything is mounting in a way that everybody is excited about in the future. How about we go and promo ourselves, let everybody know where we can be found and all these bits and pieces, or just, anything that you'd like to say. We'll go in reverse order this time. Captain Comic Geek, thank you so much for appearing on the show once again and enjoying the drama that we've been weaving together. Thank you.
Well, I truly love getting internal trauma from experiencing this story. It's great. Yeah, I'm just a guy on the internet. I apparently now am just on call to play games when people need me.
And we love having you here.
Yeah, Captain Comic Geek everywhere. Do you have social medias? If you feel interested, fine. If not, I'll be okay.
No worries. Sheila Ornthalis in the place to be.
You can find me at Come and Go Tavern, pretty much anywhere you have socials. That's Twitter, Blue Sky, Twitch, all of those sorts of fun things. Do a lot of tactics role-playing games, but also a lot of sort of tabletop RPGs like this. Currently part of that high voltage bundle that Caster repped right up the top there.
Ooh, let's do it again. Let's remind him.
The high voltage tabletop bundle over on itch.io, full of a bunch of very high energy, quick to play, and or high speed, high energy, like I mentioned before, tabletop RPGs that you should go check out. $20 for 20 games.
It runs until the end of the 31st of January, so time is indeed limited. Do get the bundle. You'll not just be getting a bunch of incredible games, but also be supporting a wide range of designers. It's bundles like these that are some of the best ways of getting indie designers out to a broader range of people, so you'll be actually genuinely making a difference for a bunch of folks. So thank you very much for your consideration, and thank you once again for joining us on this session, Sheila. Ruben.
Hey, yeah, love doing this, love being here. You can follow me on my socials at the Neoncaster and Phantom Arts _entertainment. Love to see that notification, slap that like button, hit that subscribe, and follow the channels. Thanks.
Okay, we take those. I suppose I should do my own outro anyway, despite that. But Tom, hi.
Hi, I apparently have socials, but barely use them. So yeah, probably find me here most of the time.
Heck yeah, but you're allowed. You're allowed to do that for sure. I once again have been your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades, tabletop RPG designer, streamer, voice actor in general, internet ne'er-do-well, also with a game in the high voltage tabletop bundle, and very excited that this continues to be a thing that people have been enjoying. I've been very much enjoying exploring the story, and even though I know where some of these mysteries end, the fuck is gonna happen to these people, man? I don't fucking know. Oh boy. To pass the love on to folks. I don't have a preference for who to pass on to today. We can go search to see who else is doing tabletop RPG stuff today. Let's go see who is also streaming tabletop RPGs.
Thing that I could wait. What about
whoa! Why are you playing music at me, Twitch? I do not need that while I am trying to go and segue things out. I love that for me. God damn it! It's fine. It's fine. What we'll do instead is, hey, Games Done Quick has concluded for the week, but they are already live with bonus showrunner content. Currently playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow, which is, despite not being a mainline game, actually pretty joyful to go watch. So let's go and pass the love over to them. We got that raid kicking off now. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will be back on air once again next week on Thursday with more Dice Duo content. We have concluded our Pokemon Scarlet and Violet gameplay, so we're deciding what bits and pieces we're going to be doing next. It's very likely we'll be moving on to Mega Man Battle Network 6 for our next kind of campaign playthrough, which is a game I've only played through in Japanese,
Nice.
and Rafi has not played through at all. So it will be an exciting experience for both of us. But with that said, we'll see you all next time. Farewell, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.